Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The Metcalf kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Good morning, everybody. Coming to you from high atop the Two Dumb Towers here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back. This is episode 875, just 125 short episodes away from the big 1,000. That's going to be really exciting. Really fired up about that here at the studio. I do want to say this. Good morning to everybody today. Good afternoon, wherever you may be. Good morning to Ms. Pittsburgh. I do want to say good morning to Feel the Steel, and I do want to say good morning to Teflon Mike Tomlin, who's saying Teflon 1. Good morning, everybody. Miss Pittsburgh says, here we go. She's still feeling it, and I got to be honest with you, so am I. Miss Pittsburgh also says, good afternoon, everyone. Here we go, Steelers Nation. Here we go. Phil, my man, he says, what's up, Watt fans? Teflon Dawn sucks. Tomlin says Teflon 1, and finally, Tortilla just walking through the door. Good morning. Good morning to Amon Ross St. Tortilla. Everybody, glad to see you today. Welcome to this Tuesday installment of the show. A lot of things to get into today, guys. Kind of taper off last week, getting into next week, and a lot of things that's going on in between. Of course, this is Christmas week. It's Christmas Eve, if you can even believe that. Getting their last-minute stuff done. I know everybody's busy, so we're gonna do a show, and maybe people out running around and just turn on their phone will listen. And again, we're gonna do what we do, no matter what. So here we are, guys, on December 23rd, here in Steeler Nation. Everybody, good morning. Welcome back to the show. Great to see everybody. Amon Ross St. Tortilla on the board. Always a pleasure to have that person on the terrible board. Tyrone says JBJ don't make the Pro Bowl, snubbed, pathetic. But TJ makes it. Yeah, okay. I'm pissed off. No, you're right. That is bullshit. Well, I know why. It's not come on. People are gonna start saying, well, it's this, it's that. No, it's none of that. I'm gonna tell you why here in just a moment. Good morning to you. Hello. few things before I do get started, guys. Let me know if Cody comes into the room today, if anybody sees him, in case I miss him. I do want to make sure that I thank him. He did put up, he threw a couple dollars on the board yesterday, and I missed it. It was busy yesterday, but I do want to say keep an eye at the bottom of the screen today throughout the show. We do have the Mike Tomlin press conference up to the minute scoop going across the bottom of the screen while his conference is going on. So if you're keeping an eye on injuries, anything like this, the most fresh news from the Mike Tomlin press conference is coming out right now and will be across the bottom of your screen for a little while at least. Good morning to Cody. Cody, I do want to say thank you yesterday. I was going back through yesterday's show and I missed it. There was a lot of things happening yesterday. And a lot of things I had to get in. It was just a lot of stuff we had to talk about. Some of the stuff even spilled over till today, but I did catch that. Thank you so much, sir. It'll certainly go right back into the show. We appreciate it greatly. Also, I have to correct myself because I said it a million times, and it wasn't until I was watching the show back I thought, I was way off on this, and I kept saying throughout the course of the show that this game was in Pittsburgh on Sunday when it's really obviously not. It's in Cleveland. We knew this. We talked about this, but I did say a couple of times on the show yesterday, so I do apologize. The game is, in fact, in Cleveland on Sunday, and I do know that Tyrone is supposed to be making the trek up there. So for that reason and that reason alone, I should have known that it was up Cleveland. So my bad, guys. I apologize. If I misled anybody, I certainly didn't mean to. The game on Sunday afternoon is at 1 o'clock in Cleveland. So there you go, guys. Feel the steal. Hold on, let me see this real quick. Cody says TJ gonna roll his wheelchair out there. Feel the steal says the Pro Bowl hasn't been the Pro Bowl since the Obama administration. Tortilla found Cody. There he is. Thank you, man. Gonna get into a lot of things today. We got a lot to get into. A couple of things just for starters. DK Metcalf does get his suspension brought upon him. Everybody knew it was coming. Cody says Tyrone happy he gets to watch DK Metcalf play. DK guy. Well, you know what? Let me do this announcement first. As it was kind of brought up on the board already, I do want to say this. I do want to say that. Okay, so the Pro Bowls, the first round of picks are in. So this was the fan vote. And it was brought up on the board a little bit ago. You know, why? How in the hell could it even be possible that TJ Watt is a Pro Bowler? And of course, who was the person of subject here? I'm sorry, I have to go back down a little bit. I got 6 things going in front of me. I do apologize. Joey Porter Jr. I'm sorry, Joey Porter Jr. And I think what the reason is behind this is the Pro Bowl. It's the fan vote. It's the fan portion of the vote. If it wasn't the fan portion of the vote, Ben Skoranek wouldn't be it wouldn't be a Pro Bowler. He wouldn't be on this team. He went out and he really lobbied for votes on social media, especially X, formerly known as Twitter, and he got a lot of votes by lobbying. So what happened is this is the fan portion of the vote. So no surprise to me, TJ Watt could have played minimal, and he basically did. But at the end of the day, he gets in and his feels saying right on the screen. That's what it is. It's the fans love TJ. Here's the thing in general. I just don't think the fans know how good JPJ is at this point. Pittsburgh Steelers fans know, but across the world, and again, there's Steeler fans everywhere. There's football fans everywhere. And at the end of the day, it was the fan vote, and that is exactly what happened. That's exactly why JPJ isn't in it. That's exactly why TJ Watt is in it. And that is also exactly why Benny Sko is in it. I'm not saying the guy doesn't play hard and doesn't deserve recognition on special teams. But again, I do know for a fact that he did lobby for, to get people to vote for him and get his votes up. And that's exactly what happened. So beyond that, I forget how the rest plays out. Is there a player vote? There's coaches? I think players also are involved. And then also, guys, the reserves will come later as well. So, I mean, this is just the initial round. This is the fan vote. I was a bit surprised myself. I don't think that TJ Watt, I think that Keanu Benton, who has 5.5 sacks on the year, is having a better year. If you're going to look at the things that people look at when you look at TJ Watt, okay, we look at his sack numbers, we look at this and that. So at the end of the day, It's the fan vote. And again, Benny Sco, TJ Watt, and Jalen Ramsey, who I really feel that Jalen came around and started making those Minka-like plays that we got used to when Minka was making those plays. But I think the way that he made the transition over to safety and is still, I mean, the guy, early in the season, especially a lot of Minka type plays, I think you should call him. And at the end of the day, I don't know if he's made enough of them to be an all-pro, but at the end of the day, I'm happy he's a Steeler. He's in. He got voted in by the fans. And once again, the 3 Pro Bowl selections as of right now for the Steelers going to the Pro Bowl games. They are Ben Skoranek for special teams, TJ Watt, and also Jalen Ramsey. Good morning to Lindsay on the board. Always great seeing Lindsay on the terrible board. Good afternoon to you. Armac, what's up, brother? He says Josh Allen, the only AFC quarterback. I'm going to be honest with you. Josh Allen's the only AFC quarterback I'm afraid to play in the playoffs. I can tell you that. Let me make sure I didn't forget anybody here. So a lot of things going on. As I said, guys, the Mike Tomlin press conference is being information and important information is going across the bottom of the screen while through the duration of the conference. So if you're interested in, you want to know injury situations, what's going on and what's coming out of the coach's mouth, do pay attention across the bottom of the screen. But I think that, guys, we have to get into this. I think we have to. We got to talk about DK for a minute. Then we're going to get into a lot of things, actually. We got a lot of things going on today. Let's get into it. So, of course, the big news is DK Metcalf did get a suspension from the NFL for what happened on the beyond the sidelines over the weekend. I think everybody seen what happened. It appears that DK walked over to a person who was taunting them at some point, reached up and grabbed their wig, their blue wig, and then shoved it. It wasn't a punch. He had the whole guy's whole hand, his wig in his hand, and he just kind of let it go. And his arm, he did that forward. And I don't even think it was a punch, but still, you can't go attacking fans. With that being said, in this Pittsburgh, he is getting ready to. Yes, I think he's appealing today. So as of right now, he gets a 2-game suspension, and this is what it's going to cost him. And I will get into the appeal in just one moment here. Or Mac, I agree. Free DK. But I think this also answers a couple questions, though. This is going to help us answer a couple questions over these next couple games, or at least one of them. Can this wide receiver room hold it together for that period of time? And again, let's just say Baltimore gets knocked out Saturday. It just gives us that more wiggle room, and maybe we could, make something like this happen. But here's how it went down, guys. DK Metcalf, of course, he did initially get the suspension of 2 games. This suspension will cost him $277,778 per game, making a total of $555,556 total for both of the games is what it's going to cost Mr. Metcalf for this incident. Good morning. Good afternoon to Bingo as well. Great to see Bingo on the board. So again, guys, over $500,000 is what DK is going to be required to pay out. However, it also voids his, there's a $45 million in guarantees in his contract, that some of this is going to be void as well. It's a part of the bonus money. There's going to be a big chunk of it that he's not going to get out of his bonus. There's a whole thing. But here's also, as Ms. Pittsburgh was saying, he will be appealing today, and from what I'm hearing, and again, I don't have any backroom information, but what I do know is that he's trying to get it down to 1 game, and so if he does get the appeal, it'll be 1 game instead of 2. But as of right now, this is what we know about the DK Metcalf situation. Apparently, from sources, I hear that the the blue-haired person, has a history of this. He goes and he starts issues with football players and I think situations like this, trying to get at them, if you will. And again, it's everywhere. You're a millionaire. This person's mocking you. What do you do? What's the right answer? Your pride says beat the fuck out of this guy, right? But you got to say, hey, it's going to cost you $1 million, almost $500,000. At the end of the day, security should have been standing somewhere between the two that didn't allow this to happen one way or the other. For one, fans could shout, they could scream, if they could cheer, they could boo. So on one hand, was he wrong? It's kind of sketchy on the details of the message that was sent from him. And I don't know the facts, and that's why I don't want to get into it just yet. I'm hearing different things, and again, just some of the speculations. I don't know. Let me pull up what I do know. I could do that. I could pull up what I do know as far as the DK situation is going. The Detroit Lion fan denies using a slur against DK Metcalf. We do know that. Also, let's see. I think I have something else. I should have something else. The fan, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't. But again, as of right now, we do know this. There's a 2-game suspension. He'll be appealing today, trying to get it down to 1. It's going to cost him over $500,000 if he wants to appeal. Or I'm sorry, if he doesn't appeal, if he doesn't win the appeal, it's going to cost him over $500,000. If he gets it down to 1 game, it's going to cost him $277,778 is what it's going to cost him at the end of the day. So you're right, Miss Pittsburgh. I mean, these people were everywhere. And some may even say, back at the Big Ben situation down in Georgia, back when he was a young man. And, the young ladies are certainly out looking for these guys, too. It's no secret. Come on. So, again, at the end of the day, guys, I know that the guy's denying this. I know he's a bit of a troublemaker. But we also know that DK's had a history. Some incidences with fans in the past. So, let's hope this all works out for us as Steeler fans when it's all said and done. And we could get our receiver back for the playoff run, guys. That's right, the playoff run. The only thing that we have to do is we have to get through Shedeur Sanders. That's right, Shedeur Sanders and maybe Tyler Huntley next week, depending on how things go over in Baltimore. But again, it kind of gets messed up a little bit because all we needed, as we said yesterday, was the Ravens to lose Sunday to Green Bay. But the Packers might be starting QB3 with all their injury situations. But it may not. They may not. So if the Packers do start QB3 on Saturday, we might want to start preparing for Sunday in that Browns game. Again, at the end of the day, the Ravens are a good enough team to beat Green Bay if they don't have their starters. Again, you've seen what happened with us in Detroit and in this league. Anything could happen. Obviously, we're seeing it any given week. Let me jump back on the board and get caught up. I don't want to miss anybody today, guys. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Always great to see everybody on the terrible board. Let's go right here. I'm going to start with Tortilla. Tortilla says, it's all good, Ryan. Tyrone is going to the game, and he didn't even know it was in Cleveland. Tyrone didn't know it was in Cleveland? I could have swore he did. What's up, R-Mac? Always great to see you. Jen, what's up? Always great seeing Jen on the terrible board. Hope everything is going well for you. Feel the Steel says, so what? The fans love the boom. Tyrone says, I'm so mad, bro, that is the most BS shit I've ever seen in my life. 3 years, never given up a touchdown. In his career, 46.8 rate allowed, ranked 5th, 52.3 pass rating allowed, 4th, 3rd most snaps, no TDs. How is that not Pro Bowl numbers? Unfortunately, Pro Bowls are, that's what All-Star games are nowadays. They're certainly in the NFL. It's a popularity contest. And TJ Watt will probably make it in every single Pro Bowl from here to the rest of his career. And, you see this, and there's guys that you always say, oh, yeah, what's he doing in there? He's definitely in there because of his name. I do think that is what's going on here. What else could it be, right? Let's see. Tortilla says we ain't gonna be free for the Pro Bowl anyway. That's right. What's it even matter? No Steelers in the Pro Bowl this year, baby. Cody says they should get TJ from one of those rocket wheelchairs to the Pro Bowl, or get him one of those rocket wheelchairs. Feel the Steel says Tyrone, the Pro Bowl hasn't been the Pro Bowl since the Obama administration. The Pro Bowl sucks. Tyrone says, love TJ, but he ain't no Pro Bowler this year. No, you're right. not by his performance and look up his numbers. It's not Pro Bowl numbers by any means. Cody says Vanilla wishes he had Benny Sco's hair. Vanilla wishes he had any hair. Armac says Josh Allen, the only AFC quarterback. Lindsay Tortilla says, "Isn't the Pro Bowl flag football now? Who cares? Joey Porter Jr. will be probably be a bit cheaper now." There you go. It is the flag football. Phil the Steel says, "Let the NFL fans talk. The love, the boom." Cody says this: Josh Allen drinks his own pee. Armac says Gainwell should have Gainwell, right? Lindsay says TJ's not playing in the Pro Bowl. Laugh my ass off. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just a selection that the guys are mad about, and I get it. What did his play earn a Pro Bowl this year? I don't think. Phil still says Teflon Don talk schematics. Yeah, Mike Tomlin schematics are one and done. Tortilla says Cody drinks Josh Allen's pee. Free DK. Lindsay's saying free DK. That's right. Cody says yeah, he's going to get pushed out there in his wheelchair. Miss Pittsburgh says, I thought it was going to get appealed down to one game. That's what he's shooting for. And that may happen. We may hear something later today. Keep your eye open on that. Armax says, free DK. That's right. Mike Tomlin says, love you too, Phil the Steel. Cody says, Mike Tomlin for life. Bingo. What's up, man? Bingo says, we might be better without DK. Hey, you know what? The defense has played a lot better without TJ. We didn't foresee that coming, right? I mean, although there was speculation early, but again, that's a different argument for another day. Phil the Steel says that Mike Tomlin, for the love of the Steeler Nation, please hang it up and resign. Lindsay says, me too. And you know what's annoying? People to come at you and they're like, but you were so upset with this team 3 weeks ago. Yeah, we were. How can you be so excited now? Well, you win 3 games, you get excited. Again, these fan police, these fan Nazis, the fan Gestapo, what's it called? Gestapo. That's what it's like. Just fucking fan your own way, dude. Don't worry who was mad 3 weeks ago, which, again, you lose 26-7 to Buffalo. Yeah, we're mad. You win 3 games in a row, you're looking nice. Yeah, you're excited. Back off. It's a game. But you're not a good fan if you're not. I'm a Tomlin fan right now, too. If we'd have lost these last 3 games, I would be all on board. I'd be chanting with the fans in the stadium this weekend. But I'm not, and they're not, and we're not, and we're very close to making a playoff spot. So that's why we're not in a bad mood. Of course. If somebody needs to explain that concept to people, you're really out there. And that fan is going to be the one that turns around and tells you don't know football. So, you know what? F off. Back on the board we go. Tortilla says, shit, if the Ravens lose, I'm not even mad. Everyone in DK's deal just got cheaper. Phil says, yeah, the blue-haired guy is just like Derpy. I mean, I thought it was Derpy at first. I didn't see the side boob. They took the side view, and when I didn't see side boob, I was like, all right, that's not Derpy. Tomlin says, Phil, buy me dinner. Bingo says, I mean, people shouldn't be running their mouths at people without consequence, but at the same time, what the actual fuck are you doing over there? You're right. They're both wrong. Well, it depends what was said. Again, you're a fan. You could shout. You could yell. I've certainly done my share of yelling at players. But again, if certain things were said, absolutely, it's unacceptable. But we don't know. I mean, for one, the guy's denying, and I don't know if Ocho Cinco says that he heard this is what's going on. But again, we don't know. I mean, we could speculate and start slinging mud, but I don't know if that's doing any justice, because if we're wrong, so again, I'm not going to do it at this time. I'll sling mud when I find out the facts. And the facts that I know right now is DK should be appealing his 2-game suspension today. Otherwise, he's up for losing over $500,000 and a lot of money in bonus money that was in his contract. So again, For one, security should have stopped it all. I think the NFL's at fault. For one, the player's allowed to yell anything. I mean, he really is. I mean, some things with coincidence. Yeah, the word that you just said. So that never happened. I didn't even see a security guy on the sideline. And if the guy's yelling things that are out of line, that's the security's job to get in there and get his ass out of there. If the security guy's not yelling anything out of line and DK approaches him, that's the security guy's job. Get him the hell out of there. So again, I think the most at fault, not for the action itself, for letting it happen, for allowing it to happen, should be the NFL. Find them. Where were they at? They certainly weren't standing there staring at the crowd like, you go to games and they just stand there and look at you with that stone stare. So again, we will follow how that plays out. We don't know all the details. I hear speculation, and I don't know. There's denial. There's some things, but the one thing that we do know is there is a 2-game suspension. He will be appealing today, trying to get it down to 1 game. That is what we have on DK. If we get any more on this situation, we'll certainly get it out there, guys. But I do want to say, yes, let's get back on the board. Guys, this is still Victory Tuesday to me. I'm still kind of basking in the Detroit Lions win. One thing I do want to say before we move on: 53 years ago today, the Immaculate Reception happened. Possibly the greatest play in the NFL history. It happened 53 years ago today when the Steelers hosted the Oakland Raiders, John Madden's Oakland Raiders, in the playoffs. 53 years ago today, the Immaculate Reception. Franco Harris taking it to the house. While speaking of Franco Harris, the Heinz History Center, guys, is to rename its sports museum after Franco Harris. So, always a beloved figure here in Pittsburgh, all the way till the day he passed away, a few Decembers back now. And I know this because they had a funeral in the viewing in the Acrisure Stadium parking lot. In his last trip before he went to his final resting place, he did come to the parking lot, and fans got to go and pay their respects. And right now, the Heinz History Center is renaming their sports museum after him. Good for Franco. Good to keep his memory alive again, 53 years after the biggest play in NFL history takes place. So good for him, my man. Good for him. Right now, we're going to go right here. Miss Pittsburgh, the fan was looking for a payday. Absolutely. Apparently, this fan, again, has been in this situation before with players. Things like this shouldn't surprise us. I think security should be... It shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened, in my opinion. Cody says this: the midgets broke out of the basement. Derpy is outside chasing them in his underwear. Seen it on YouTube. He sure isn't one of them dumb little Cleveland Brown elves. He's over in Ohio. It might be that dumb elf they have in the middle of their field. And again, I do want to say, half hour into the show, I want to make another comment. I was wrong, totally wrong. Yesterday, I made the point that mentioned that the Steelers were playing at Acrisure Stadium. They're not playing at Acrisure Stadium, and we knew this. So I do apologize. I just want to make it clear in case anybody was misled or led astray by my by what I said. The game, of course, is in Cleveland on Sunday in week 17, guys, for the Steelers. Steelers are 4.5-point favorites going into this game as we get ready to wrap this season up. Believe it or not, 2 football games left in the regular season. I can't believe it's that far into the year, but here we are. Tyrone says TJ Watt makes it, but JPJ don't. It doesn't make sense. And that's what he says in the next message. He says, how the fuck does that make sense? It makes no sense at all. Tyrone says best DB in the effing league. Cody says TJ's new name is Rocket Wheelchair Man. That'd be a good parody song, the Rocket Wheelchair Man. Armax says the Pro Bowl's a joke. It is all good. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It is. It's a joke. And I hate that it's a joke. I used to love it in Hawaii. And again, they didn't give everything. No, I get that. But they're playing flag football. Come on. What's in that? Chess? It's chess next. How fucking dumb. Miss Pittsburgh said that's a lot of money. Man, that's mad money. Come on. You know what I mean? More than $500,000. Lindsay says, okay, stop with the TJ slander. Cody says, "Oh no, not Shastanky." Cody says, "Rocket Man." Bingo. Bingo says, "TJ Wheezy Watt." R Max says, "It's a fan vote," and that's exactly what it is, and that's exactly the reason why Benny Sco led in special teams voting for for the Pro Bowl game. I mean, come on. I get on my nerves. Lindsay says, "Field of Steel" says, "Bingo, Wheezy Peasy Watt." Miss Pittsburgh says, "No, yeah," and Lamar is hurt, guys. But you know one thing about that Tyler Huntley, remember when he beat us? Tyler Huntley beat us a few years back. It was before we went on our 8-game winning streak, but granted, it was when Lamar Jackson was hurt, and Tyler Huntley came in and beat us at the end of the season. So again, I he's a veteran, he's a backup, he's a veteran. You can't put it by Tyler Huntley at this point. So we will see. We'll see how that's going to play out. Bingo says it's out of love. Steel. Also, Tyrone says this is BS. 24 deserved to play out of. He played out of his mind. He deserved. He does. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. Hey, guys, you want to put it in perspective? These last 2 games, the 2 out of the last 3 games, where we're getting accused of cheating, which again we have nothing to do with. Maybe we're the new Chiefs. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're like, well, who could we pamper? Well, let's pamper the Steelers this year. Hey, we'll take it. We're not cheating. And if the referees are shady, that's on them. But JPJ, he stopped both of those plays, guys. Both of the controversial plays in the end zone in those 2 wins. In the play that the Baltimore Raven receiver would have caught the pass in the end zone to beat us, Joey Porter knocked that out of his hand. This ball that was caught on the goal line on Sunday, Joey Porter stopped him at the goal line and knocked the ball out of his hand. So I mean, we in Pittsburgh know the value of this guy. If it wasn't for Joey Porter's play in those 2 particular plays, who knows where we'd be? We might still be at 7 wins. Come on. So, Cody, you're right. JPJ, the GOAT, could he do any more? Maybe a couple more interceptions would certainly highlight his play. But right now, he's the reason we're 9-6. Say what you want. Hey, don't get me wrong. It takes a lot to win a football game from a lot of different people. But JPJ, again, stopped that game-winning touchdown 2 of the last 3 weeks against teams that, that pretty much should have been and were a challenge for the Steelers this year. We were able to go in and we won. They didn't. Bottom line, and Joey Porter was a big part of that. Stopping two, breaking up two game-winning touchdowns near the end of the game the last 2 out of 3 weeks. So, guys, you were totally justified for having the feelings that you have about TJ and Joey. You know what? We'll take TJ. Of course, we want to get as many guys as we can in there. But when you're comparing, I don't think it's any comparison. I was thinking the other day, man, wouldn't it be nice if TJ was in when they were moving the ball down the field, Detroit, and they were down in our end. I don't remember exactly where, but I thought, man, wouldn't it be nice if Watt was in there and he punched one out? Where is he? I mean, he's, on no fault of his own. Come on. I mean, I'm not faulting him for being hurt, but the best ability is availability. And Joey Porter's in there getting it done. And again, I'm not blaming it on TJ for not being there. It's just the way that it plays out, unfortunately. And Joey Porter just does get 2 big game-winning saves. 2. Again, we have probably 7 wins if it wasn't for Joey Porter's play in those 2 games. So, that's the reason why the comparisons with TJ Watt are happening. Nobody's down. I'm not downing him. I'm just saying. Let's go to the next message here. Most fans probably don't even know who JPJ is. They just vote on the absolutely. And you want to know why he's popular here? Because we know his dad, and his dad was great, and we won Super Bowls with his dad. Of course, we believe and we see everything that he does. And so I wouldn't take it too personal. I think Joey's going to get his time. And when he gets his time, just like every other dominant CB in the league, he'll probably be in every all pro for the rest of his life. So every Pro Bowl game, I'm sorry. So again, yes, I'm pissed. But again, you got to realize it is the fan vote. And again, it is, again, look at Ben Skoranek. He led the way in special teams. If it wasn't for a fan vote, do you think that would happen? Hell no. And I do know that he lobbied to get a lot of people to vote for him. He used the platform to do so. So again, guys, that be what it be. Joey Porter's going to be there. We know he's great. He's not doing just good. He's doing great. He truly is. Again, interceptions would highlight it, but that's not happening. But Ike Taylor did what he did, and I certainly wouldn't have gave Ike Taylor away for nothing either. So that's just what it is now, guys. Let's move forward here. Not saying JPJ and nobody, but he's not on Sports Center all the time, and most people probably only know him for or his dad's name. So maybe that's why they didn't vote for him. Maybe they're like, let's make him earn it first. Let's not just give it to him because of his dad. I mean, you see things like this. Somber, what's up, party people? Somber in the house. My man, it is 2 days before Christmas. I hope that you're ready for the big day. We had our Christmas early. Of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers getting the big win over Detroit on Sunday, getting a little help from Baltimore on Sunday night, guys, and being just a hop, skip, and a jump, if you will, away from winning this division. The GOAT is here. Tortilla says, he says, what's up, Somber? The GOAT is here in the house always. Bingo says, nope, still tired of Tallman and still sick of constantly letting teams back in the fourth. And you know what? I have a thought on that as well. I think a big argument is, why does this team not close teams out? Why do they have such a hard time closing games out? I'm sorry. But I have a theory on this. Now, before I say this, I do want to say, yes, Pittsburgh historically has trouble closing teams out. That's acknowledged. Okay. So with that being said, look around the league. Is there any defenses that are closing teams out? For the most part, every game comes down to the last possession anymore in the NFL. For the most part, the good games. For most of the part. Like I said, even Cleveland and Buffalo comes down to a 3-point game. So what I'm saying is the game has become very competitive. And I don't know if that's entirely organic or it's being prodded along, if you will. But I don't see many teams closing teams out anymore. A lot of these games come down to the last drive. Come down to the touchdown at the buzzer, if you will. Most. More than I've ever seen in my life. Again, I've noticed this a few years ago once gambling in Las Vegas got involved with the NFL in an official capacity is when I started really noticing these things. But again, guys, I don't know if we're just so bad because, again, I'm not seeing many teams on Sundays just shutting teams down to win a game. It seems like there's always a final drive or always a penalty that keeps the final drive going. Or always something. So, again, yes, I acknowledge we historically haven't done this well. 100%, I can acknowledge that and agree with that. But, again, in the league today, I don't know if there's much that we could do. For some reason, they sure find a penalty every time to keep the drives going. But, again, we're the ones that need all the help from the referees. So, let's get back on the board here for a couple minutes. See what's going on. I'm going to go right here. He's very well known. Also, Tyrone says everybody in the comments on that post saying he's snubbed. I mean, and I'm sure there are many people are, and I think as Pittsburgh Steelers fans, we will certainly all agree that he was snubbed. I find no problem with that. But again, I think that you could rest enough knowing that it was because of a fan vote. And that's why I said, guys, every day, I know as much as I remembered, get the votes in. Let's get our guys in there. Let's see. Somber says, was listening to Tomlin for a bit. We're here now. My man, always great seeing the great Somber. I do have CBS Pick'em results coming here shortly, actually. Had a new winner this week. It was a very competitive week, guys. We are down to the last 2 weeks. of the CBS Pick'ems. It's been a blast. I got to be honest with you. It's fun. It's competitive, and it's passive competitiveness, and it went really good this year, guys. I do want to thank everybody for participating that did participate. Tyrone says people just dumb as fuck and don't know about. You're right. You're right. That's what I'm saying, man. There's all levels of fans, and we got to hold up our end too. We got to get in there and make our votes and all that kind of stuff. Again, it was a lot to do with fan persuasion this year. I know this for a fact. I semi followed the Ben Skoranek campaign, but again, there's no doubt in my mind that's why he's in there. So Tortilla says maybe to the players, bro, but not to most fans. He's your favorite player, so you know him, but the fans don't know him like that. That's it to everybody. Everybody wants their guy in. And that's why I kept saying, guys, let's get our votes in. Cody says this Tortilla has a Mitch Trubisky jersey. I seen it. He said, I seen it. Somber says, I'm leaking that dude's Instagram everywhere I go. F that guy. Tyrone says, but TJ made so we are good. Tortilla also says, yeah, all the Steelers fans, clearly the rest of the league doesn't know about him like that because we didn't vote for him. Fans voting has always been uneducated. Absolutely. My whole life. I've seen people and I thought, yeah, how the hell did you get it? It's a popularity contest for a lot of people. It truly is. And as I said, though, once your guy gets in there and becomes a regular, it's hard to get him out of the cycle. So look at TJ Watt. Once people get that common perception, especially if you're not from that city, you just have that. That's all you have. That's what you have is a common perception. I'm under the impression that Micah Parsons is really good, but I'm going to be honest with you. From anything that I've seen from him this year, I didn't see anything that, again, he's hurt out for the year. But as a fan outside of that team, I'm like, oh, you know what? He's really good. Maybe he should be an all-pro. And that's an average fan, I think. Somebody that's not deep into every team. Doesn't know a lot, about every single squad. Excuse me. And somebody like him would make it on his name if he didn't even have a great year. So I think that's what's going on. I wouldn't let it get you too much. I wouldn't. I see a great future ahead for this cornerback, and the fact that he's here. I see the future is even bigger for him, and I think we're going to stick with him, and he's going to stick with us, and he's going to have a great career, guys. And one day he will be no secret. I could promise you that. Phil Steele says that bingo. Your comments are fire, especially the ones from first Teflon Dawn. Keep them coming. Phil Tortilla says I got it signed, Cody. Cody says Tyrone. It's pronounced Rocket Ma'am. Rocket Ma'am. Somber says female police officer literally watched it happen and just like, did she see get her? She's got to go. She's got to get something has to be done. Otherwise, you're not doing anything to stop it from happening again. Fire her or whatever you got to do. Whatever you got to do. Whatever the process is. When a millionaire walks over and what happened. She should have been running, blowing whistles, whatever the hell that is that they do. I don't even know what they do. And I don't even know what it is that she could do. DK's a freaking monster, but, come on. The NFL's got to handle that. They got to. It's just too much of a liability for their bottom line. And at the end of the day, business is business. Tyrone says more like a popularity contest for sure. For sure. No doubt about it. And there's probably a lot of guys that got snubbed at the end of the day because, again, it is a fan vote. And a lot of teams think a lot of their guys belong there, and maybe they do. But, if the other fans don't, then that's all, that's what it comes back to. Cody says this. He says, what does Cody say? He says, I got Randy Jackson to sign my ninja sword. Tyrone says, I don't get JPJ lit up a touchdown next year again, not 1 yard all season, still wouldn't make it. Bet. I can agree with that. Tortilla, exactly. It's a popularity contest vote, basically, for Fearless Steel. He says, in case you didn't know, but Chief Hung Low knows I'm not on the bandwagon. I know Teflon Dawn is going to fuck it up. Cody says this, JPJ is also getting better at catching the ball. He's getting better at tackling, I can tell you that. Has anybody seen the guy tackle lately? Think about him in the first couple of years. It was embarrassing. he gets in there, man. He gets his head in there, and I got to be honest with you. There's not much about JPJ I could complain about, and his penalties have gone down, and we know because we do the overs and unders. Armac says this: TJ's more popular than anyone else on the team except for Rodgers. Absolutely, I'm surprised Rodgers didn't make it. Tortilla Will Howard gets voted into the Pro Bowl. Somber says Mike Tomlin says if the Ravens lose to the Packers on Saturday night and the Steelers clinch their playoff spots, it would change the plan for some players on Sunday, but he hasn't made any. Absolutely. He's going to go into friendly, relaxing mode, and that scares the shit out of me. And I think we should I think we should rest players if listen, that's we're getting a bye week basically if we're getting 2 games that are meaningless football games. It's basically going to be a bye. We're getting healthy. We're working on so I think that we could expect that. I just don't know what to expect. Again, you've seen times during this season, the preseason. Don't make your starting quarterback play all preseason. I wasn't a big fan of that. Sometimes it gets a little too lax. And again, you see the results of that for a few weeks. I don't want the guys to get off of what it is they're doing. You get something like this going, you don't want to mess it up. It's a good thing. Cody says this. He says it's not a popularity vote. That's redundant. Also, Somber says specific plans there. Nick Farabaugh. Somber says Tyrone. I figured that. Somber says Howard. Tortilla, yeah, if JPJ had a few more picks, he 100% would be voted in. Fans just look at stats and names. They don't know who's actually balling out across the league. And that's the thing. If you're as a fan, don't see the intent, you don't see the numbers. Unless you sit down and watch every other team's games, you're not going to know. We know, we see every play he makes. We see the tackles are improving. We see this is, so again, I'm not sore on it just because we know the way it goes. And I'm confident once he does get the nod, it's going to be hard to get him out of the cycle. And, we got guys. Let's continue on. Somber says, come on, Green Bay. And that's my issue with Green Bay, Somber. I mean, they're fighting for their playoff lives. They're a good team. They beat us. It's in Green Bay. It's going to be cold. It's going to be Lambeau, frozen, whatever the hell they call it, frozen tundra. And I do know the Baltimore guys, Lamar Jackson is seriously having issues with that back. He was supposed to get his MRI yesterday. I didn't get results, but I know the pain is bad, really bad. So we could have the playoff spot. We could have the division wrapped up by Saturday night without playing it down. And again, I don't know if I like that or not. I do. I like it. I want to wrap it up and get it out of the way. But at the end of the day, I mean, you don't want your guys sitting around for a couple of weeks. Yes, to rest, to get healthy, but again, you don't want to get rusty either. Your quarterback's closer to 50 than he is to 30. Keep that in mind. I'm going to go right here. Now we're going to get into some new stuff. Tyrone says this, so I'm going to be watching. Cody says Tyrone, at least DK will be there. Dude, it's going to be a blast. You're going to have fun no matter what. What jersey are you wearing up there? That's the question. Bingo says Benny Sco deserves a trippy play. And I agree. Listen, I don't disagree with you, Bingo. I think that he does. But for a special teamer to be the top of the votes and then to know that he did a big campaign on X, on Twitter, to get fans to vote, it's he did himself that service, I think. Otherwise, fans around the league, they know their guys as special teamers. Other than that, people don't pay attention to guys on special teams to that capacity, I wouldn't think. And again, unless you're really into sports. But again, half the fans probably aren't in it as much as other fans are. So again, that's how he got in. And does he deserve it? Probably. But there's a lot of guys out there that may deserve it as well. So it's hard to say. Tortilla, I'd rather pay the refs than the defense. Bingo says refs on our side like the Chiefs. Oh hell yeah, that's what I'm saying. People, you don't need help from the ref. No, you know what? Screw that shit. We get effed over by him enough. We'll take a little bit of that Patty Mahomes help. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And guess what? There ain't a damn Browns fan. There ain't a damn Ravens fan. There ain't a damn Lions fan that would turn it down either. Not one. Come on. everybody that's flapping their gums about this shit, they wouldn't be saying, well, you know what, you're right, guys, we're gonna give up. The fuck that. They're just mad. Tyrone says, end early in the game. Okay, that's a 4th down too. Tyrone says, this bullshit also. He's clutch as fuck. Cody says, I'm more surprised Boswell. I'm right. Boz. That's kind of I mean, if you're talking known names in the NFL, special teams, kickers, guys, he was out of the top 10. I don't know if that's how it finished, but remember about a week ago, I was like, guys, get on, make sure you get your votes in. I was like, Boz, he's not even in the top 10 in kickers. Is that crazy? So again, Boz not being in the top 10 should be as upsetting as Joey Porter not getting recognition, I think, right? So again, that's just kind of the way this process plays out. I'm not a big fan, but it is what it is, unfortunately. Tortilla, we got like 4 players that I know of that their dads played in the NFL. Porter, Samuel Jr., DK, Hayward. Yeah, the Ironhead, Hayward, my man, from a Pitt. He was a Pitt guy. And you know what? He looked like Cam Hayward. He was a running back. He was if you lived through the Ironhead Hayward days, man, he was a monster. Bingo says nippletism or nippletism. Tyrone says rigged as fuck. Just sad for real. Tortilla Derpy is a case of nippletism. Super Rig Cody says Tyrone hard to get picks with 2 passes thrown your way each game. You're right, and them not throwing his direction certainly helps. The reputation helps, and again, the rest of the league and fans will know at some point. We're still getting there, obviously. Cody says this is hard to just catch the ball in general. Tortilla says he just got to use his holding powers onto the ball. Tyrone says he really ain't held this year for real. Armax says it's all good, Tyrone. We see the value of JPJ. Sometimes we don't get credit we deserve from the world, but as long as the important people in our lives recognize it, then it's all good. And at the end of the day, who was almost primarily responsible for winning these last 2 out of 3 games? He knocked both of those balls out of the controversial play. Maybe that's why he didn't get the vote. Maybe fans from other teams are like, F that shit, man. He's getting the calls from the refs, but Somber says, yeah, this prevent defense is going to give me heart palpitations. Tyrone says he's been excellent all year, man. I know. It's unfortunate. It is. But again, he might be in there. He could get named in other ways. So let's be patient and see. Tortilla, real G's move in silence, Tyrone. RMAX says prevent defense. I agree. Prevent defense is silly. Like lasagna, Tyrone. I'm sorry, Ryan. RMAC. Yeah, up 14-0. We're playing 40 yards off. I agree. It's just it's a lax part of this team. There's a certain laxness that I don't like about our squad, and it shows up in certain areas. And you're like, wow, if you would just do this a little bit more, practice this a little bit harder, you could, be able. So again, we'll see how it all plays out. Bingo says defense is closing teams out. Yeah, for sure. Chargers against us, Bills against us. And I do want to make a point. Yesterday, people were getting on saying that the Chargers are going to kill us. But let me put it this way: the Chargers beat us up down there, but coming to play in Pittsburgh in January is a whole different story than playing in bright, sunny Los Angeles in whenever that was, October or whatever. So I don't think it's so cut and dry when it comes to the Chargers, who we would be playing right now if the playoffs started right now. The Chargers do sit in the 5 seed. We do sit in the 4 seed, and we would play the 5. Chargers will be coming to Pittsburgh from LA in January. And I'm going to be honest with you. Those guys from Miami didn't want to fucking be here last week. You've seen it in the second half. It makes a difference. It truly does. So I just wanted to mention that. I seen it pop up on the board the other day. Somebody went on about the Chargers. I know it isn't the beautiful San Diego weather. However, Los Angeles is certainly an improvement when it comes to January. No 2 ways about that, guys. Tyrone says, but I'm over it. It is what it is. He still is him, 24. I agree, man. I think he'll get his, man. There's a lot of players in the league. That's the thing, you know. Tortilla, I'm just proud the defense made stop the number one offense for a majority of the game. And when it came down to it, we made stops. And let me make some more points on this. People's going on about this Lions team. Well, let me start out last week by saying 9 out of 10 people picked them to win. So at this point, they're a good team. And this team's better than you. This team is going to beat you. 9 out of 10 experts say that the Steelers are going to lose. So then, when the Steelers win, we hear this. Well, Detroit's down this player, that player. They have this guy injured. Well, we don't have a linebacker. We don't have this. Bullshit. We're down 3 offensive linemen. We're down 2 of the top 3 linebackers on our team. We're down defensive linemen. We're down cornerbacks. We haven't had a quarterback in a half a decade. Don't tell us about injuries. Bullshit. Guess what? Nobody cares that Detroit had guys injured. Nobody cares. It doesn't matter. It's week 17 in the NFL. Everybody has people injured. You picked us to lose 9-1, and now you're going to turn around and blame injuries? Bullshit. Bullshit. Again, nobody's had the injury bug quite like the Steelers have had over the past 5 seasons or so. More crying, more excuses. And again, Joey Porter, a big part of that, breaking up those 2 touchdown passes that were potential game winners against those 2 teams. And Detroit, all of a sudden, we had the same record. It wasn't like we're better than this team. It wasn't, but all of our injury, all of a sudden, yeah, all right. The fact that we held your best players to 0, and our defense played like it hasn't all. Come on, bullshit. Back at it we go. Tyrone, I voted for Boz and for Troy Fatano. Troy Fatano's another one deserves it. Troy Fatano absolutely deserves it, guys. I'm talking about a guy that you never heard his name called, and if for an offensive lineman, that's an all-pro. If you don't hear their name, the better they are. Troy Fatano will be another one. One day he got snubbed too, Tyrone is saying. Also, Troy has been balling out. Tortilla. Cody says, I voted for Scotty Miller and Chucky Clark. Talking about a guy with no hands. It's Chuck Clark. Tortilla, for the most fantasy football players, too, you pick a defense as a whole and have to individually look at whose players are good in matchups. The typical fan doesn't see how good defense. Hey, you're right. You're right. Tortilla says, for every team, it's hard to keep up with. Absolutely. For people got they work, they got family, they're preparing for Christmas, they're cleaning the houses, they're chopping logs, whatever people do this time of year. So we can't fault. It's going to work out. If their performance is there, they'll get it. It's gonna, the NFL. It's a pretty fair league. Tortilla says in work 40 hours a week. Exactly. Cody says this. They also they get a flashlight and whistle to stop the security guard. Fight the security guards. 40 hours a week is too much. Cody's saying. Tortilla says Cody probably worked 400 hours this week. We Green Bay fans. Tyrone said we are Green Bay fans this week, man. Cody says, not this week. I work fog, also Steel Bay. Tortilla Somber says, give Aaron 1 drive in each game. He'll be fine. Tyrone says, shit, probably JPJ. Now snub, my goat. Cody says, I'm not a Green Bay fan. Fuck Green Bay. Roger's still helping him stay in the playoffs. Clay Matthews sucks. Cody says it's right. Tyrone says, wait, who won the pick'ems? I'm getting that in 1 minute exactly. 1 minute exactly. Heading over to the pick'ems to get those results out. Let's see. I cooked. Tyrone said, you know what? I don't know. I did pretty average, I think, this time. Cody says, get him some wham burgers and some French fries. RMAX says Green Bay is cool. Yeah, I literally had no problem with them, except for 1 year in my life, and I think everybody could figure that year out. RMAX says Cody Hayton. Hot Wangs. I do want to say what's up to Hot Wangs on the terrible board. Welcome, Hot Wangs. Hot Wangs coming in with a big let's go Steelers. That's right, baby. Welcome to the terrible board. Tortilla Jackson says Armac's a cheesehead. Or me. Armac. Armac is a cheesehead. On Armax says, I've always liked the Packers. Not a fan, of course. They are the NFL's close, or the NFC's closest things to the Steelers. That's pretty accurate, I'd say. Hot Wangs, ZZ Top. It is me, baby. How'd you recognize? You like that ZZ Top, huh? Hot Wangs in the house. See, he's already earning a game ball here on the compliments to the host. Cody says this. He says no one's ever said Green Bay is cool. They've been picking my taint since 2010. I got probably from the Super Bowl. Cody says no one has said Green Bay is cool. They've been licking my taint since 2011. There it is. Also, go Pack, go this week, Tyrone. Boo Packers, Cody. We're gonna need that help. We'll take it. If we can get it, we'll take it. I'll certainly take a Green Bay win this week, no doubt. Somber says the experts. Yeah, exactly. 9-1. 9-1. They picked Detroit to beat Pittsburgh. Steelers had more. You're right. We have more people injured. I hope those two. You know what? If they tie, it also has the same effect, Cody. If Baltimore ties with Green Bay, we also get in that night. So a loss or a tie will help us. The only thing that won't would be a win by Baltimore. I said Baltimore, right? We got to get healthy, absolutely. And you know what? If we get that situation, and we get 2 weeks where the games aren't going to matter, we are going to be able to get healthy, and that is a huge plus. But again, I don't want to get too lax. Once you get this momentum going, it took us a while, right, guys? I think it's fair to say it took us a little while to get to this point, to get this momentum, to get to this, this consistency that we've been having for three weeks, guys. So you don't want that to break up either. So I'm torn, but of course I do want to win the AFC North on Saturday night. So however it plays out, Somber says only team that can cry about injuries is San Francisco. Yeah, you ain't kidding. They're fucking cursed, he says. Steeler Freak. What's up, John? Always great seeing Steeler Freak on the board all the way from Las Vegas. He says, I want the Steelers to play Buffalo and beat them. I mean, that would be great. But they're just a team that we sure as shit don't match up with. For whatever reason, Josh Allen, he knows how to beat us. He knows how to pick us apart. Tortilla says, Packers win. We sit everyone and get healthy. It's possible. Steeler Freak says Gainwell leads in receptions. He does. I'm going to get to those numbers here in just a moment. Tyrone says, yeah, I'll watch backups, at least hope. Howard, I hope. That would be nice to see Howard, of course. Also, Yinzer Nation, what's up? He says Chuck Clark got Ike Taylor hands. Welcome to the terrible board to Yinzer Nation. Cody says I would vote for Zach Frazier before Troy Fatanu. I mean, either one of those guys I think are just as deserving as the other. They're doing their part on the O-line, and what the O-line is doing is nothing short of extraordinary. And I got to be honest with you. What about Dylan Cook, guys? 140 snaps he took this week. Again, no penalties. Excuse me, no assignment errors. After his really good week 1, I mean, this is going to make the Broderick Jones extension easy, I think, right? Do you stick with this guy? Do you stick with the hot hand? Is he going to be able to stay this good? Again, Dylan Cook, 140 more snaps this week after giving up no pressures in his very first game starting as a Steeler. No assignment errors, no penalties, 140 snaps this week. So Dylan Cook in the offensive line is cooking, guys. We get a couple more of these in, and we are going to get to these results. I know people were ready to find out who won. Tyrone says, I texted my Packer fan, you better crush the Ratbirds, he says. He got us. I like that. Tyrone says, hope Lamar's out. You know what? I think at this point, I think he's more of a liability if he's playing. I'm going to be honest with you. As hurt as he is, I don't mind seeing Lamar. I'm just saying, can the healthy guy be more of an issue to beat? Cody says, I hope the Packers and Ravens tie 0-0. Tyrone says, lose, tie, I don't care, punch the ticket, we're in. Johnny, what's up, Johnny? Johnny says this, welcome back to the terrible board. He says, I'm a big Packers fan this Saturday. Go Steelers. That's right, baby. Somber says he let up 1 sack, but it's Hutchinson. Well, this week he did, yeah, but they had a lot of other good things too. Again, for a rookie getting a second start, no penalties, no assignments, and it was Hutchinson. And then it didn't hurt us in the sense of costing us the game. Bingo. Cook hasn't thrown our over 40 quarterback to the ground. Yeah, at least he's not tackling our quarterback, right? Cody says Packers and Ravens 69 each other, and Tortilla says can't be both of Jalen's 45-yard runs. Here's another thing, guys. Tortilla, the 245-yard run for touchdowns in the Kenneth Gainwell 45-yard touchdown reception is the first time in NFL history that there were 3 plays from 45 yards. First time ever, which you witnessed on Sunday while watching your Steelers play. Never happened before in the history of NFL football. People that lived and got to see things that we never seen, well, still with everything that's happened and as many games has been played, we've seen something nobody else has ever seen. That's right, Pittsburgh. 45 yard touchdowns in one game. Never been done before by any team ever. Guys, let's get into these CBS Pick'em results. We are at the halftime point of the show. I'll give you the results for this week, and then we'll look at the overall standings here in just a moment. I do want to say congratulations. First, I want to say to the runner-up, geez, oh man, Patricia joining the these poll a little bit later. Had a couple rough first weeks, but you know what? Patricia comes out of nowhere last week and wins the whole thing. This week, tied, only losing by a tiebreaker. So I do want to say initially, give it up for Patricia. She's been doing really great on the terrible board. But this week's winner, guys, the crown goes to Yinzer Joe. Yinzer Joe, I haven't seen him on the board today, but he is this week's CBS Pick'em's winner, guys. Yinzer Joe, great job, brother. As he does get the big dub in the CBS Pick'ems. Joe got 14. Patricia also got 14, losing by way of the tiebreaker. Richard, 13. Tyrone, 13, killed it. Jamal, 13, killed it. Mike and Somber both had 12. RB, myself, Finch, Derpy, Phil all had 11 this week. Vegas had 10. Cody had 10. Corey Beavers had 9. And finally, Armac had 8, guys. Just 2 weeks left. Don't forget to get them picks in by Thursday night. Christmas, guys. I know there's a lot going on, but again, still, Tyrone, you really were, man. Miss Pittsburgh is Patricia. Congratulations. You've been doing very well, almost on a back-to-back. Patricia, Miss Pittsburgh, great job, I do want to say. And I do want to say again, congratulations to Yinzer Joe. I know he's been fighting hard, as everybody else is this year. Let me give you some results to this point. This is what it is like, looks like overall. And you know what? Get in, guys. There's still 2 weeks left. You can still get in and make picks. It's a lot of fun. At this point, who cares? Get in, make some picks, see how you compare with the guys and the gals, and everybody's doing pretty damn well. The link is just right outside on the main part of our YouTube page. If you click any of the logos you see down below, it'll take you right to our main page, and you can just right there in the top in blue, click on that. It takes 30 seconds, costs absolutely nothing. Get in and do some CBS Pick'ems. This is what the overall results look like at the moment, guys. RB still at the top. RB has been, come on. If he hasn't been the Patriots this year, I mean, just one of these teams, they get up early and they just stay up. Of course, the classic Patriots. RB at the top, very tippy top with 162 total. But closing in on him, very, very close, guys. Number 2 at 160 points overall is Vegas. Vegas TJ is second place, just two correct games picked behind RB. I'm in third with 153. Corey Beavers and Fincher next with 152. Derpy and Richard are next with 151. Mike, 149. Cody, 148. Phil, 143. And then again, this next part, it's not saying these guys ain't any ain't as good as the first part, but they came in later, so their scores, I just want to make that known, so that is understood. Tyrone, 76 points, the leader of that pack. Yinzer Joe, right behind him, 71, this week's big winner. Jamal with the 65. Somber with the 65. Miss Pittsburgh with the 44. And Armac, 14. But you know what? He finished the latest, or he got in the latest. So, again, everybody's doing well. Get them picks in again by Christmas night as the league, week 17 will kick off. You don't want to miss out, guys. Again, look at RB and Vegas, just 2 games, just 2 wins separate the two. So again, you don't want to miss out on any of your picks, guys. Last night, speaking of primetime games, the San Francisco 49ers beat Phillip Rivers and the Colts 48-27. And that wraps up week 17. And that is the results also from week 16, I guess. It's week 16 that got wrapped up. The results from week 16, guys. So there you go. Congratulations to Joe. Great job, Patricia, and everybody else, guys. 2 more weeks. Let's see if somebody can get close to RB as this thing starts to wrap it up. It's going to be tough. He's been at the top all season long. It's been a great fight by everybody. So again, Thursday night, the next game kicks off, and that is when you're going to want to at least get that game's picks in. I know there's a lot going on this week, and I'll try to do as many reminders as I can in the meantime. But I didn't get mine in yet. But Miss Pittsburgh did say she already got hers in, so she's ahead of the game. The guys say this. Tyrone, good work. 12, man, not bad. Bucks and Chiefs effed me. Somber, yeah, I know. You know what? I'm done with the Chiefs. I'm done. I'm done. There's no way I'm picking the Chiefs ever again. I mean, Gardner Minshew, I thought was okay. I as a backup, I thought he's done well in the past, but now he's out. I don't even know who they had. Listen, Chiefs, they're done. They're out. I'm not telling you who to pick, but again, I'm not picking them anymore this season. Tyrone says, "Yep, next year I'll be on point." Also, Somber says next year I'll start game 1. I think I start. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. You can't go by that because everybody did start at different times. Everybody's doing great. Good job. Cody says 48-27 last night. Damn. Yeah, that's how that played out, guys. Let me get into a few things here. I'm finally caught up on the board. Let me get into a few new topics as we do move along. I want to talk about the offense. I want to talk a little bit about this defense. A little bit about our quarterback. Cody says San Fran put up 48. That's crazy sauce trade. Not looking good for. You know what? 48 is a lot of points. If you think about it, it's closer to 50 than Aaron Rodgers is. If you think about it that way. Let's see. Dan Campbell and Jared Goff refused to blame the referees. These are the people that are actually involved. These are the people that actually lost the game. So anytime you hear some magpie chirping in your ear about the referees, oh my God, they cheat for the Steelers. Oh. Well, just know that the quarterback and the coach of that team that lost and took that L, they don't blame the referees. So do what you want with that, everybody. What else? GP. George Pickens makes his first All-Pro he makes his first All-Pro appearance with Dallas as GP, of course, in the trade this offseason off to Dallas. We're talking about people that did make it. What about Cam? Do you think Cam deserved it? That's another person that, maybe some might think got snubbed. I know some people call him the best defensive tackle in the league, which I think is crazy. But if he was, I think that, or if he was such a fan favorite like he thinks he is, he might have got picked on the Pro Bowl team. Let's see what else we go to. So Shedeur Sanders this weekend, that's what we're up against. All right, here we go. Let's get into this, guys. I'm going to start with the wide receiver room. Let's get into it. The Steelers, of course, are not going to have DK Metcalf for at least one of these next 2 games. What are we going to do with this wide receiver room? This is something that we speculated in the offseason, and when the Steelers they failed to go out and get a wide receiver 2 for almost 2 seasons. We said, what happens if DK's out? What if he gets hurt? No, nobody even imagined he was going to punch somebody. So here we are, Adam Thielen, which we like. But again, you kind of need DK for Thielen to be more effective, I think. Scotty Miller made a couple good plays on Sunday, but again, I think he's a part of the whole. I don't look forward to Scotty Miller playing, but I think you could benefit using him when everything else is working. Ben Skoranek. Well, maybe they'll bring Roman Wilson. Maybe Roman Wilson will be available. Him and Austin, combined on top of each other's shoulders are about 4.5 feet tall. So again, we're going to be in trouble this week. And this is why I want to wrap it up with Cleveland, or this is why I want to wrap it up on Saturday night. I don't want to have to worry about my having enough talent on my in the receiver room to come out and win this game against Cleveland. MVS, Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson, Skoranek, Scotty Miller, Thielen. So again, I don't know. Is this enough to go to Cleveland and get a win with that defense? Also, something to think about. Smiles Carrot, he's only a half sack away from tying the record. Does Smiles Carrot get his does he get the all-time sack record against us? I know this is something that people don't want to talk about here and certainly don't want to think about. But does Miles get to our quarterback at least one time to break TJ's record? So that's something that going into the game could be a bit annoying. Just a warning to you, as he is only down a half a sack. Let me give you some Steeler wide receiver scoop. I think John did mention it earlier. Kenneth Gainwell is the leading receiver on this team, and he was right. Kenneth Gainwell has 62 catches on the season for 410 yards. DK Metcalf has 59 catches on the season for 850 yards, coming in number 3, tied. There's actually 2 players tied with 35 catches. It's Pat Freiermuth and Jalen Warren. Jonnu Smith coming in next with 32 catches on the season. Darnell Washington with 29 to Calvin Austin III's 28. Yeah, you're right, Sommer. He is hurt. He got the what's he have? A groin. Hammy. He's a hammy. So he's, can't have him in there. You lose his 3.5 feet. Roman Wilson, 12 catches on the season. Adam Thielen already has 6. Ben Skoranek, 4. Scotty Miller, 4. MVS, 2. Connor Hayward, 2. Caleb Johnson, Spencer Anderson, and Aaron Rodgers, all with 1 catch on the season. So that's how it's going to go down. That is what our wide receiving situation. That's how our receiving situation is for our pass game coming up against Cleveland. Check this out, though. Check this out. You want to hear something really cool? What's up, Aaron? Aaron always saying, "Here we go, Steelers." I love Aaron's "Here we go, Steelers" with the Rockets. Always great seeing you on the terrible board, guys. You want to hear something very cool about what Kenneth Gainwell is doing? Kenneth Gainwell since week 11. Kenneth Gainwell since week 11 has more catches than Jameson Williams, Nico Collins, and even DK Metcalf. Since week 11, he has more receiving yards than Justin Jefferson, Devontae Smith, and Ibuka. And since week 11, he has more receiving touchdowns than Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, and Rashee Rice. And also, in that period of time, he is the RB7 in the fantasy football this year, guys. It just shows, kind of shows you where he's at and with all that. But again, more receptions than Jameson Williams, Nico Collins, and Metcalf. More receiving yards than Justin Jefferson, Devontae Smith, and Ibuka. And more receiving touchdowns than Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Rashee Rice, being number 7 RB overall in fantasy. So, he is Steeler freak. He's the number 1 receiver. He truly, honestly is. 62 catches, 3 catches more than DK. So I just thought that was interesting. He's outperforming all these top-paid wide receivers. I think some would call, Jamar Chase the best wide receiver in the league. He has more receiving touchdowns. And, again, everything I just said, it's impressive. This is a running back. So, again, we'll take it. And we'll certainly need it with our number 1 being down and out for at least 1 game. After, again, we know the appeal is going down today. But 2 games as of right now, again, with his fines stacked up well over $500,000, guys. If it does go down the way that it's supposed to go down at the time, $555,556 is what he is being fined for what went down in Detroit on Sunday. And again, that cuts into it avoids certain guarantees and things like this as well with his bonus. So again, hopefully he gets this appeal, gets down to 1 game, and it doesn't get in his pocket too much. On the other hand, the situation could have totally been avoided, and it should have been avoided. But DK's still the guy. Let's get him back. Listen, I like him because he's on my football team, right? I don't know. That's beyond that. I like him because he could catch footballs. I'm sure he's a great guy, but I'm not going to get too upset about it. It's not my money. It's not my wallet. But again, on Sundays, we have common interest. Let's move on here. Cody says this. Of course, he's going to get a sack. Their defense is going to be on the field 90% of the game. I know it's kind of it's kind of a catch-22, isn't it? Johnny says, what's up, bro? What's up, bro? Sun's shining here in Mississippi, sitting on the porch listening to you, bro. Steeler Nation for life. That's awesome, dude. I do want to say welcome to Johnny from Mississippi. My man, to my knowledge, you are the first Mississippi Steeler viewer here on the show. There may be more, but again, I do want to say welcome to you, and I think that's awesome. Let's see. Cody says this. He says Spencer Anderson for wide receiver too. You know what? Speaking of that, I would be getting it to guys. Listen, and I know Washington's production have gone up and his workload has gone up. But does anybody not love just seeing this guy run over everybody? And I know guys coming in low, getting them legs isn't what you have to do, but that's also putting a risk for this guy's knees as well. His knees. He has potential knee problems. He doesn't know it. He may know it, but again, guys that big, they tend to have issues. Look at the NBA; they're not as top heavy as he is, but a lot of those guys with that height, they get knee issues. Man, you're carrying a load, man. Especially with a guy his size. But I would like to see more production out of him. I love to just see him run more people over. I love watching him run people over. It's been a joy. So hopefully that does continue. Gainwell is number one receiver. John is saying on the board, he sure is. Also, Tyrone says we need Packers to win so we can make the playoffs and get our guys healthy. I agree. Ultimately, I agree. But I think we have to do it right. Don't lose your momentum. Don't lose your juju. Don't lose that. Whatever it is that we're doing right now, you can't lose that. It took us 16 weeks to get there. You have to figure out whatever the hell it's going to take you to come out in January and play like you played this Sunday, last Sunday, and the Sunday before. That's what you got to figure out. Tyrone says, ready for the sight and the sounds. Cody says, I disagree. Scotty Miller is the best wide receiver in the league. He's clutch. Say what you will. He does make clutch plays. Nobody's going to argue that. But again, that's when other good things are happening. You know what I'm saying? You always have this one guy that really excels, but other things have to be going on. You put him out, at a certain position, and you give him the top dog or whatever, and he won't perform. So again, it's something. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how things go. Let's just hope that DK gets that 1 week, just in case we have to come out and win this game next weekend. We're certainly going to want him back. So let's get that out of the way. Also, let's go right here. Steeler Freak says KG needs to come back. The O-line is getting better, and some piece is shot for a stud OC and QB. I agree. And you know what? I like to see a little bit of more. John, you're a lot like I am. John, you're starting to seem a little bit more optimistic about things. And listen, I know all the doubts and everything that's going through your head because we've had conversations. But you got to be a little bit excited about this team over the past 3 weeks. And again, just the way the league is this year. It's got to make those wheels turn upstairs, and I think Steeler fans are starting to feel that as well. Maybe we go above and beyond this year in January. Boy, wouldn't that be nice? Even into February. Tortilla says Gainwell for real walked into our trap and took over our trap. Yeah, dude. And he doesn't overwhelm you with skill and talent, but he's overly skilled and talented. Jeez, oh man. You know what I mean? You're not watching him thinking, he's the fastest guy. You're not thinking that he's this, but he gets it done, and he's getting it done consistently week to week. And without him, week to week, we aren't having the success that we have, especially putting this continuity together as of late. He's a big part of that, guys. Gainwell, such a big part. Jamal, my man, always great seeing you on the terrible board. Gang, no, you're never late, bro. You got to do what you got to do. You stop in when you can, my man. Always great seeing you on the board. Cody says, what up, gang, everybody? Jamal, my man. Right, let's go into, we got a few more things we got to get into as, we still got a little while to go, but there are still quite a few talking points here. We're going to talk just a little bit as we get to the middle of the week. It is Christmas. Vegas, what's up, dude? I do want to say, great seeing Vegas on the terrible board. We just went through all the CBS pick'ems. You were in second place, I think, right? You're in second place overall, just 2 points behind RB for the season. So great job. Don't forget to get the picks in, guys. Thursday night. or Thursday, whenever all the games are played Thursday. I have to look at the schedule myself to see, but Christmas, I think it's a little bit different. So don't forget that. Don't forget to look that. I'll check it out right now, actually, so we can talk about it briefly. Let me get into a couple things. Let me get a couple of these comments here. Tyrone says, we're good. Packers beat the Ravens. We're in. And they both got quarterback situations. So that's the thing. If Love was healthy, and I would feel a little bit more comfortable, but who knows? Tyrone says, we're chilling for real. Vegas. What's up, bro? Always great seeing you. Richard, what's up, man? Always great seeing the great Richard on the board. He says, I'm glad we had enough defensive backs to help keep plugging in quality players. Is this over this interest in all these excessive DBs this year? I mean, is this a stroke of genius? How many times you lose one of your top secondary guys and you're like, shit, we're effed. How are we going to stop the pass? This team is built like a team that I never seen as far as DBs goes. Never. I've never seen anything like it. We always have somebody that continues to move and take over. Here's another question, guys. Deshaun Elliott, let's say he gets healthy sometime soon. What's your starting safety situation? Do you remove Jalen Ramsey from safety, put him back at corner? Do you take Kyle Duggar out? Guys, Deshaun Elliott, when he gets healthy, moving forward, it's a good problem to have, but just a question that kind of popped up across my mind, and I thought, wait, what do you do? What do you do with the safeties? We got mad safeties. We got mad corners. Again, good problem to have. We'll certainly take it. Jamal, my dog, Cody, Warren, and Gainwell are both. They are slippery, man. And Jalen will stick you. He will. He'll put his shoulder down and he'll hit you, man. And I love it. Tortilla says, what's up, brother? He says, I was mad as hell. I missed your live a few days ago. Cody says, Vegas, what up, boy? Cody says, Jamal rolling up for the boys. My man. Jamal, JPJ was snubbed. Tyrone has worked up, man. You know what? Rightfully so. I don't blame him. Vegas says, the sky and the ceiling. How are you feeling? Also, Tyrone says, I don't know. That's a hard situation. Replace Duggar. You got to figure Duggar's making, pick sixes and safety sacks and all these other things going on. but I listen, I think that's what I would do as well, Somber. But just the situation. Look at the good problem we have. Look at this good problem you have. Jamal says, what you mean? They got 3 Pro Bowlers. He should have been a Pro Bowler, as as Tyrone saying. The 3 Steelers, Jamal, that did get selected into the Pro Bowl are TJ Watt, Jalen Ramsey, and Benny Sko. That is your fan votes. If you didn't catch it, guys, the 3 Pittsburgh Steelers that were voted into the Pro Bowl this morning as of about an hour and a half ago: TJ Watt, Jalen Ramsey, and again, Ben Sko. Ben Sko, right, he says, what the fuck? Cody says, Ramsey played cornerback all last game. That's what I'm saying. It's not going to be it's not a bad problem. If you have to move Ramsey, you got to do this. It's a good problem to have. I would rather have this problem than a lot of other problems that we could possibly have out there. We'll take it. We'll take these issues. What else can we get into? What else can we get into? The Pittsburgh Steelers, and again today it will be a lot of. I'm going to get into pretty much wrapping up the Detroit game. Tomorrow will be the Christmas show. Obviously, Thursday will be off. Friday will be coming back to head into the weekend. So I'm just going to kind of finish up on some Detroit game stuff. Guys, we won in the trenches, which was huge. Detroit came out with the game plan to bully the Steelers in their home stadium and basically beat us up. And you know what? We went into that stadium and we did the exact what they was going to do to us. We bullied them. We won in the trenches. We kept them guessing. Guys, when was the last time you seen the Steelers keep another defense guessing? You know how I always say, you want the defense to be able to react, not think too much. And this is where we kind of get behind the 8 ball sometime when a team starts throwing the ball well and running the ball well. Then the Steelers, shit, what do? You have to, and this is exactly what we did to the Detroit Lions. We imposed our will on them. They didn't know if we was going to run or we was going to pass. They was on their heels all day. So again, you don't want to lose this. What it is that you're doing, you want to keep it going. Okay, well, this team's going to be better. Okay, whatever, that's fine. But this is the right model that you're going to want to go by. And again, in a league this crazy this year, I don't count anybody out at this point. So again, our offense was 2, 3 steps ahead of their defense sometimes. This is usually us. So again, what happened? I don't know. Were we playing possum? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But one thing I do know is we're 9-6. We can finish with a potential 11-6 record, which is historically a good record. You finish 11-6, you're a playoff team. You had a good season. And we're winning in December. We're playing winning football. We're undefeated in December. 2 wins on the road in December. This is what we needed. So if we're going to do anything bigger, these things had to take place, and they're taking place. So, it's a good reason to keep rooting for our guys. GP did make it. Yes, he did, and rightfully so. Armac, yes, fan votes. Steelers fans, they look better at the end of the season instead of trending down in the last 5 years. You're right. Rodgers is doing better than I thought that he would. Fire Tomlin chance appeared to wake them up. You know what, John? And those are the reasons for me as well, man. And I wasn't going to give up. I wasn't never going to stop. I was going to stop watching my team. I always want them to win. But you're right. I mean, again, there's a lot of things you see writing on the wall, and you're like, oh, this is a problem. Those things, John, and everybody else, I think are all good signs for our football team. Jamal says it's all politics. It's the fan voting, dude. We kind of did talk about this earlier. Fan voting it's not always the fairest results. Tyrone says it's BS, bro. Tyrone also says he was an all-pro all season. Absolutely. I don't know. By numbers, is there many people that are playing better as far as keeping receivers out of the end zone and everything he's done? Cody says this Pat Freiermuth should have made the Pro Bowl. Tyrone says GP made it. And that way Jamal could have got his Pat Freiermuth all-pro jersey, his all-pro jersey. That would have been pretty cool. Pro Bowl jersey to add to his Freiermuth collection. Vegas says Troy made Pro Bowl when he had his worst statistical season after his rookie year, and the Ravens quarterback made it and barely even played. No, you're the Tyler Huntley that selection. He was an injury replacement. If that's the Ravens quarterback that you're talking about, I do know that he could. You know what? Kenny Pickett could have got in that year. This is what I'm saying. This is where it was at. It was literally between Kenny Pickett, Tyler Huntley, and somebody else, and they gave it to Tyler Huntley. So that just kind of gives you an example. Tyrone says, here we go. Miss Pittsburgh says, yes, sir. Here we go, Steeler Nation. Tortilla, Pro Bowl was cool when they actually played. It's slowly gone from two-hand touch to flag football because players won't play football for free, and nor should they. They should be accommodated because they're performing their task for the NFL, the business. So again, it shouldn't be treated any different than anything else. I agree, though. I hate it now. Listen, I like all the challenges and everything, but I don't want that to be the whole thing. When there was a Pro Bowl game, a Pro Bowl game, and then they did all the challenges, the quarterbacks, and that was fun. Now, if it's just all challenge after challenge, and then you don't even know what they're into. Is this the flag football game? Is this the All-Pro game itself? Is this a challenge? What is this? Let's go right here. Tortilla says, I can't risk an injury. Well, a lot of the times the injury thing does come up, but a lot of times you signed up for football and you got paid handsomely to play football. And, there's got to be there has to be some kind of answer to this. But you're right. It's not what it was. I'm not a big fan of what it is now. And it's a shame. It was really enjoyable. And I think these all-star games are for kids anyway. Why are you taking these things away from the kids? Jamal says fans should be held more accountable. Also follows it up by saying, don't think the Browns game is going to be a cakewalk. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Shedeur Sanders, it's not going to be a cakewalk, but I think we win this football game. I do. Tortilla, only fans should be held accountable. Jamal says they play Buffalo better than we did. They did. That's what I'm saying. They beat Green Bay. Cleveland beat Green Bay. We lost to Green Bay. So, Cody says the spirits are telling me JPJ will make the Pro Bowl. Spirits don't lie. They usually don't. Tyrone says Jamal, not if the Ravens lose. Yeah, the Ravens lose. That's curtains, man. We will be Division AFC North champions on Saturday evening, providing the Ravens lose to Green Bay on Saturday at 8 o'clock. That game goes down. Vegas says Roy Williams, the Dallas safety, was the beginning of the end of the Pro Bowl when he was out there, horse collar tackling people. And you're right. And also another thing is guys will be dropping out. Guys, for one, they get hurt. They don't go to the All-Pro game. And for two, they choose not to go to the All-Pro game. And for three, the guys that make it from the participating Super Bowl teams won't be playing either. So they will be, again, rolling out more players continuously all the way up until the All-Pro game. And you never know. So Jamal says, right here, what if he right? I heard Ryan say they usually don't at Cody. I got to go back to what Cody's saying. Kenneth, what's up, dude? Always great seeing the great Kenneth on the board. Kenneth Jones says Malik Willis is playing, huh? That's interesting. And again, Lamar is really hurt. Like his back is really effed up, man. Really, really effed up, and he's going on and on about it. And again, he's going for MRI. And supposed to go for MRIs yesterday. I haven't heard any update on that. But it's going to be interesting. And again, Green Bay, big Green Bay fans this weekend. Let's see what else we can get into, guys. As still got some good time on the show. A couple things about the offense this week. Dan Orlovsky comes out and says this: maybe we owe Aaron Rodgers a little bit of an apology. Remember, Dan Orlovsky says we could see us finishing or starting 0-6. Maybe you remember Dan Orlovsky talking about there's no way Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to get this team in the back in the winning column after we tied with the Baltimore there a few weeks ago. Everything Orlovsky said was not true, and even Dan Orlovsky comes out and says maybe we owe Aaron Rodgers a bit of an apology. With that being said, guys, Aaron Rodgers on his 3-game winning streak, his numbers look like this. His adjusted completion rate is 80.2 during his 3-game winning streak that he's leading us. 783 yards during that 3 games, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 106.4 quarterback rating. Again, 80.2 adjusted completion rate, 783 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 picks, and a 106.4 quarterback rating over this 3-game winning streak by our quarterback. So no surprise, guys, that we're playing good. He's playing good, playing very well. What else? There was something else here about Aaron. I thought I had. Maybe I don't. You know what? He's. Let me see if I saved it. I should have saved it. I don't know why I don't have it. There was just a quick statistic about Aaron that I thought was kind of cool. He is like he's only Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, somebody, and then Johnny Unitas, and then Aaron Rodgers, top 5 quarterbacks with 40-yard touchdown passes thrown. And Aaron Rodgers just moved into that 5th spot. I had it. I don't know what I did with it, but that was the numbers that I was looking for. Aaron Rodgers is number 5 all time on the list of 40-yard plus touchdowns thrown. Again this past weekend with Kenny. He did it again, and he moved into the top 5 as the 5th team, or the 5th player, guys, behind Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Johnny Unitas, and Aaron Rodgers, getting 40 or whatever it is. He's number 5. It's the 40-yard touchdown throws. Let's jump back up on the board here for a couple minutes. Let's see. Tyrone. Tyrone says Love might play this season. It's on the line. You know what? Do you want to? Is it more beneficial to have a healthy? Would you go with an unhealthy Love, or would you go with a healthy Malik Willis? You know what I'm saying? Who would you rather go with in that situation? I mean, if it was more beneficial to go with Love injured, I would certainly go with Love. But that's hard sometimes. It's hard. Also, let's see what we got going on here. Somber says Willis injured his shoulder as well late in the. That's right. I think they're going to be. I think they're saying QB3. I thought I heard QB3 was going to be getting the nod, and then let's hope that that's not the case. But again, Lamar is not looking that great either for Baltimore with his injury. Kenneth says I agree. Apologize to Rodgers. He's done. Sure. Come on. With this team, where would this team be without what he's done and what he knows and everything that's just he's put out there this year? It's been a team effort, but come on, look at the quarterbacks we've had over the past 5 years. This is way better than the Mitchell Trubisky experiment. And Bingo says this, or I'm sorry, Cody says, you remember Danny O getting a safety running out of yes, absolutely. Looking like a fool. Bingo says, apology for what we could have started 0-6 for sure. 0 snaps in the preseason. Still didn't instill a lot of confidence. The fact that we did, though. We didn't go 0-6, I think is what he's saying. And certainly, I think, exceeded a lot of what we were being projected to do this year. Let's see. Johnny says, Aaron Rodgers is a trash talker. Didn't know that. Love for show. Vegas says this. There was an Asian dude recording a video outside of my work, so I went out to talk to him, see what's going on, and asked him his name, and he said his name was Phil Ming. Phil, shut up. Vegas, Phil Ming. Somber says, oh, look, it's Tater. Look, it's Tater. What's up, dude? Let's see. Jamal says, be honest, if the Ravens decide to move on, do we go? No. You know what? He's so on his downside. I would have taken him early in his career. The guy's he's a mess. He has more injury issues than we even know. Believe me. If he did, I mean, no. I would say no. Cody says, damn, Somber looked up that third string Packers. He's been in the league since 2008 and played for 30 teams. Tyrone says, not clutch, not the same. Anyone, Tortilla, let's get Burrow and Lamar. F it. Jamal says, shaking my head, that's stupid, bro. Somber says, I know, Cody. Hope Love or Willis is good to go. John, Steeler Freaky says, Rodgers came in, quickly assessed and cut out the weak links like Roman Wilson, Caleb Johnson, scrubbed the playbook for the plays that he could run and took over from Smith. Plus, he added trusted wide receivers. Good assessment. And Bingo says, what are you talking about, Willis? I'd go with Love on crutches. Yeah, I hear that. Let's see. Another thing that was funny. A couple things that were funny about this past weekend. Not only the Ravens fans, I brought it up yesterday. How the Ravens fans were they thought that the Lions won. They're watching it on their jumbotron over there. Their game was going on, and they all started to celebrate when they seen the Detroit touchdown happen at the buzzer. And they didn't know. They didn't even know it was in the touchdown. And even after it was confirmed that it wasn't, they're still cheering and celebrating in Baltimore. And poor people in Detroit, they were the same way. They didn't know if their team lost, their team won. What the hell happened? Just kept continuing to go on for a long time. But one note that I did want to make about this particular game, the safety. We did get a safety. We mentioned this earlier. Duggar did get a safety on Jared Goff when we played against Detroit guys. That is the Steelers' first safety since Brett Kiesel. Or I'm sorry, it's the first safety since 2018, but it's the first safety on a quarterback since Brett Kiesel sacked Tom Brady in 2011. 2011 was the last time we sacked a quarterback for a safety. Brett Kiesel tackled Brady, but the last time we had a safety was 2018 versus Cleveland. So safeties are, I love the safety. Again, if you're a defensive guy, and again, being a Steeler fan your whole life, you could very well love safeties as well. But it's just such an accomplishment, especially in the league nowadays, man. Sometimes the placement of that ball when you're tackled right around the goal line, they give the offensive player the benefit of the doubt. And you're like, bro, that was a safety. But you know what? We got it. We again, first safety of a quarterback since 2011. Let me take a quick look here, guys. Again, Steelers at the Browns. I do want to throw that out there as well. I did make a mistake yesterday. I did say on a couple occasions it was at Acrisure. It's not at Acrisure, and I knew that it wasn't Acrisure. I just I kept saying that for whatever reason, and I want to correct myself today because I don't want to lead anybody astray. The game is, in fact, in Cleveland on Sunday at 1 o'clock, so make the trek up there. I know a lot of people are going to be making the trek up. I do know that Tyrone for sure is going to be making that trek up there with his girlfriend. So get up there, be safe, bring home a victory, guys. But it is in Pittsburgh this week 17 matchup. The Steelers at the Browns. We are a 4.5-point favorite in this game. You catch up on a few more messages here. All right, I'm going to go Tortilla. Start Lamar when he goes down. Burrow goes in. When he goes down, Diddy comes in. Vegas, Diddy is hard to tackle with all that baby oil. My God, that's a lot of baby oil. Tyrone, I know that was funny. John says, me too. Not to Lamar, I'll take Joe Burrow. You know what? I like him. I'd like to have him, but he's got such a glass body. I don't want to spend the money that he wants for him to be injured constantly as he is. Keeping that guy on the field has been impossible. And again, for the money he makes, I don't know if that's worth it. Cody says, if Aaron Rodgers is calling all the plays, why does he always say Arthur Smith, a good game in every press conference? End of days. Hey, Yinzers, do you think the Steelers will miss Pickens? I don't at all. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm glad he's gone. Dallas ain't in the playoffs. Do what you want. Say what you do. Do what you want with that. Yes, he has great numbers and he did good things. But at the end of the day, the team that he's on is not in the playoffs. And the team that he's not on, who was supposed to make the worst deal ever, and not as good as this team, and that team got better because of him, who's moving on? Who's been eliminated? That's all. I don't miss him at all. Yeah, he did great and amazing things. But at the end of the day, you know what? There was a lot of things that it was left to be desired with him. Things that were issues that just shouldn't have been issues. You're a professional, dude. You just got to do certain things that you got to do. It's bottom line. Would you like to from this day? Yes. Miss him because he's gone? No, I don't. And the fact is he's not coming back, so I don't care. I don't care two shits about the guy. He doesn't wear my uniform, so to me, he's nothing. And he's going to be watching the couch from the same place I'm watching the couch from this year. It's true. George Pickens will be watching the Super Bowl from the couch, the same way I'm watching from the couch. And I don't know how I can miss that. I don't want my team watching from the couch in January. Also, Tortilla, never throw your boss under the bus. That's good to live by. You might not like him or not, but he's still the hand that feeds you. Vegas says, how long ago was it when we got a safety on the opening kickoff? Oh, I don't know. That's a hell of a question. Tyrone says, yes, sir. We in that bitch. Also, Cody says Darnell is nasty, but Vance McDonald still holds the best. I tell you what, nobody does these angry runs like the Steelers. Vance McDonald and Najee had a handful of them, and now Darnell seems like we always have a guy. We always have a guy that's going to F you up, man, and I love it. Cody says this, or Steeler Freak says, Cody, what is he supposed to say? I don't need him. Ben has the same assessment as me for what it is worth. Vegas, he says, Erica Bedeau saying, you better call Tyrone. There you go. Kenneth Jones, my man, he says, Rodgers has set variations of the absolutely. If you don't think that Aaron and Arthur are in on this 100% together, they are. So whether it's Arthur, whether it's Aaron, whether it's it's working and it's getting better. So whatever the case may be right now, let's keep rolling with it. Let's keep it going. Tortilla GP going to be watching the Super Bowl like how he watched himself get drafted. You're right. Standing in front of the TV. Johnny says Pickens is AB number 2. Yeah, whatever. We're surviving. They're not. At the end of the day, we found a way to do it without him. And they found a way to not do it with him. For that reason, I don't miss him. Tyrone getting ready for that Ravens and Browns. Jamal says this, you got to be high as hell to sit and watch the couch Sit and watch the couch. Watch the couch from the Super Bowl. How about that? Cody says it's a good thing Pickens went to the Cowboys, a team that's known for Super Bowls. That team hasn't been in an NFC championship game since 1995. Shady Grady. What's up, Shady Grady? He says DK Metcalf, a clown and downgrade for George Pickens. That's funny because he's watching the playoffs from the couch. And we figured out a way to get it done without him. And they couldn't figure out a way to get it done with him. And today's Tomlin has a very good record against. He does. Again, you're going against Shador Sanders, and again, I like our chances, guys. Yes, Cleveland got a good defense. Yes, it's interdivision, but you know what, guys? I like our chances. I really do. Tyrone A, the third round pick with the trade going to be high with Cowboys didn't make the playoffs. Shady Grady. Shady Grady says Steelers are going to be watching Super Bowl. Also, they're not 31 teams, brother. So, 31 teams are going to be watching. And I got to be honest with you, this will be the first year I'd say that any team has more of a chance than they do this year. Just keep watching. Shady Grady says DK got himself suspended because a fan. What a bum. I agree. There's no disagreement there. Shouldn't have been hitting fans, and there should have been security in place handling the situation. But at the end of the day, again, we found a way to make it to the playoffs. We're this damn close. That other team with the star on their helmet, they've been eliminated already. So, again, say what you will. Vegas says 2013, guy took a knee in the end zone after going out of the end zone. Cody says, Jamal, that's because we Pittsburgh fans and we usually have heart attacks and throwing shit around. Steeler Freak John says fans from both Tennessee and Atlanta commented that Smith had decent plays but lacked in sequencing and targeting the right players at the right time. Boy, does that not sound accurate. Come on, that holds true till today, right? He has nice stuff, but you see the way everything played out last week? That's how I think he wanted his offense to run and keeping the defense on their heels. And he's finally being able to do that. So, again, those are good signs at this time of year. And, again, not losing in December, it's a nice start, guys. Again, you got to get through this part to get to the next part. So we are going to take it. Go right here. Eric Green Bingo says that was my man. Hey, Eric Green and Darnell Washington were very similar. I think Darnell is definitely taller. Mount Washington is definitely taller than Eric was. Shady Grady, the cop. It doesn't matter. It doesn't anything that any dumb argument you have, Shady. It doesn't matter. They're out of the playoffs. And guess what? They had the guy, and it didn't help them none because they're done. So any argument you have is it's dumb. They wanted him to help them pursue and make the playoffs. Well, guess what? He was there. They didn't make the playoffs. I don't care if it was the defense. I don't care if it was the quarterback. I don't care if it was the coach. I don't care if it was running back two's baby mama's sister's cousin's baby's aunt. I don't care. The fact of the matter is they have George Pickens. They're not in the playoffs. We don't have George Pickens. We're about to be in the playoffs. That's the only thing that matters. Beyond that, I don't care. It's irrelevant. It is irrelevant, as is George Pickens for the rest of this year. He's irrelevant. Right here. Steeler Freak John. Dak is another quarterback on the no Super Bowl list. No matter, and he's not going to win any Super Bowls. Dallas is it's a terrible team anymore. People in Dallas want to talk about us. Look at your own problems. You ain't been in a fucking NFC Championship game in 3 decades. Come on. Talking about clowns. Steeler Freak says Garrett will try for the sack record to rub it. Absolutely. And you know what? He might get it. I hope that he doesn't, but, it might play out that way. And, of course, the NFL certainly benefits, and it wouldn't surprise me if it does happen. Vegas says if Green Bay wins Saturday, we should run the ball every play. Myles Garrett is in the game and only pass when he – and you know what? That would be hilarious, wouldn't it? Just run, and run some more. Facts Vegas, quick passes. Dean Albright. I do want to say welcome to the terrible board. Dean Albright says this: DK Metcalf and George Pickens on the Steelers is better than just Well, absolutely. Here's the thing with the people that argues this George Pickens thing. I mean, with the common sense, yes, of course, it would be better with those two receivers on the team. Of course, nobody is disputing that. But what is people supposed to do? Sit around for the next year and a half and go, oh my God, I wish we had this guy that just didn't play the whole way through plays. I wish we had this guy that walked away from a bouncing live ball. I wish that we had this guy that caused problems and got us passing or a personal foul call. No, nobody gives a shit. He's gone. What are you going to do? You're supposed to sit around and dwell on it? All I know is they're not in the playoffs and we're about to be. That's all I care about. Anything beyond that, it's silly. Anything beyond that is absolutely silly. And you know, people are really pulling straws at this point. Just Metcalf and no wide receiver 2, and that will be the reason Steelers don't go anywhere in the playoffs. Also, Jamal, he says, laugh my ass off, dude. No one wants record to rub it in. You want the record to get paid and make history. But wouldn't it be great against the Steelers, is what he's saying, though? for the Browns, for him, for Garrett, I think getting it done against the team that TJ's on would be sweet, I think is what he's saying. Vegas says, fuck Miles' line ass. They will have 5 wins max. They're not going to have no 5 wins. Come on. They're going to have to finish with their 1 win or whatever the hell it is. They ain't winning no more. Shady Grady. Again, with this, nobody cares. I'm not even going to read it. I already know the dumb content that is going to come from what I'm about to read, and I refuse because it's wasting my time. And for one, nobody cares. For two, what are you going to do? We moved on. We found a way to win without him. He moved on. They didn't win. Do what you want. I do want to say Weapon. Weapon says, goes to show Lions have the most annoying fans in the world. 100%. Absolutely they do, because here's the thing about a team like the Lions. They never win anything. But the fans are ridiculously annoying and confident and arrogant for the team that never has won anything. Never. Not once has won anything in this league. That's what makes their fans so bad, in my opinion. I believe it's bragging rights and cash. Let's see this. I'm dumb again. And here's the thing: I do want to let you know that I am openly acknowledge that I am dumb, and I do have it right in my name, which is it legislates the fact that I'm dumb. So it's true. I am dumb. Shady Grady says, you sound dumb. Cowboys not in the playoffs because of dickhead. Listen, I didn't say they're not in the playoffs because of George Pickens. I said that he's there and they're not in the playoffs. This is why you're dumb, and this is why I'm not reading anymore, you say, because you're wasting everybody's time is what's going on. And the fact of the matter is, he's in Dallas. They're not in the playoffs. He's not in Pittsburgh. We're in the playoffs. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's not Dallas's defense. And again, do I have to give you all the sister, baby, mama, cousin, aunts? I don't care. It doesn't matter. He's there. We're here. Not playoffs. Playoffs. You care. We don't care. That's why you're a clown. Steelers made the play. Again, exactly. The Steelers made the playoffs. They find a way to get there. With George Pickens, Dallas, we had a great defense. We had a great team. Shady Grady, are you saying that we had this great team, this great defense, and all these things, and that's how we? No, come on, dude. I'd like to think that you're smarter than this, but keep talking. We will confirm one way or the other. Vegas says this: Dallas messed up when they fired Jimmy Johnson, even though Barry Switzer did win a ring next year. I don't want to talk about that one, but you're 100% right. Vegas Tortilla, come see running back two, baby mama, this summer. Watch your favorite running back struggle between his girlfriend and his wife. Can he balance football and romance? Coming in July. Somber says, oh, LOL, no shit, DDD. Yeah, what happened with Dallas? They had this great, all these wide receivers, this great quarterback. Man, they got knocked out early. Weapon says this. He says, Washington is a cheat code. Why don't we use him more? Gainwell, RB1. Absolutely. You know what? I like the way they're using the guys. Call him 1, call him 2, whatever you're going to do. Whatever was going on with our running backs, I like it. It's working. You know what? Gainwell is doing amazing. But so's Warren, guys. I like what they got going on. Washington is a cheat code, and it hurts to say, why didn't they start this process a whole lot earlier with him? It always seems to be a slow process with this team when it comes to shit like this. And again, the guy has size. Throw him the ball and let him run. Yes, he got to learn the offense. He has to learn things. But at the end of the day, he's 320 pounds, 6'7". Just give him the ball and let him run. If anything, it's kind of dragging out a little bit. John says GP was going to act the fool in Pittsburgh. And that's the thing. He was going to act the fool in Pittsburgh. He was having issues with people. And, that's the way that he was. And we avoided that in those issues. So, again, nobody cares here. We're kind of glad. He wanted out because he wasn't getting his targets. He wanted cash. Peace. Dean says this Steelers get an old quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, and only give him one weapon, DK, and take away the talent like George Pickens. No wide receiver too old to help old quarterback. Look at Rams giving Stafford to Puka Nacua, and still the Steelers found a way to get in. And Dallas has this, some say the MVP caliber quarterback, and CD Lamb and George Pickens. I would think that that's a little bit better than what the Steelers got going for them. And I would think that the Steelers defense has not been great a lot of times this year. I'm not getting the argument. Again, what a dumb argument. I don't want to miss out on any of these. These are really dumb today. Let's see. Well, first, Phyllis still says Leyland doing 30 years and Attica 30 years also. Okay, right here, Dean. Where'd he go? Where are you? I don't. Oh, right here. No, that ain't it. There we are. That's why the Rams won Super Bowl in the last 8 seasons more than the Steelers owe Super Bowls. Well, guess what? If you're going to talk about the Super Bowl of the past, like the Rams, you have to talk about the Steelers Super Bowls of the past as well. If it's not this year, that bragging right's gone. And until the Rams get quite a few more Super Bowls, they really have nothing on us. Vegas says Lions fans watch Barry and Megatron retire early because of all the losing. Absolutely. And what a waste that was. Steeler freak. John, the Steelers quarterback room was asked again the whole time. GP was out there. Again, he wanted out. Exactly. I have no. What's he going to do to sit around and wish we had George Pickens still? It does nothing. Nothing. He's gone. He's for another team now, guys. Vegas, is there more than, not more than? I'm not sure on that one. Bingo says this. Toledo's coach's last name is Wiener. My daughter said, whoa, fat Wiener. I like it. Tyrone says, well, we got 12. Bro, we got mad picks. This is gonna be epic. So again, however the season plays out, we got the draft coming to Pittsburgh in April. Things are looking good in the Berg, guys. No complaints. Things are looking good. We're moving in the right direction. Tyrone saying we're gonna get a stud. Somber says I don't see Shady. I must have blocked him in a previous stream. Yeah, he's been around. Shady Grady. Vegas will draft a quarterback in round 3 next year is my guess. Tortilla. Will the real Shady Grady please stand up? I repeat, will the real Shady Grady please stand up? We're gonna have a problem here. Vegas says Eminem is a big fan. Jamal shaking my head. I don't know about that. A-Rod would have it on track. Tyrone, I don't know. I miss GP. Again, I mean, yeah, of course. What it could have been. But what could Dan Marino have been had with the Steelers have drafted him? So, come on. You move on. And we made the playoffs and Dallas didn't. So that's good enough for me. I don't know. It's an effed up situation, Tyrone says, but we are doing pretty well right now. We sure are, baby. We sure are. Let me blow through a couple. I'm going to take a quick look, make sure I'm not forgetting anything for the day. We are going to start getting ready to wrap things up. I think I have one more thing here I do want to share. Give me just a moment on that. Let me look through real quick. We got that. We got through that. Got through that. I think we did get everything that I wanted to get to today in the amount of time that I tried to get it into. But I do have something for Shady Grady and for Tater Tot and for anybody else, Matt, for that matter that applies. Guys, Don't say I never did nothing for you. Shady Grady, Tater Tot, the Ravens fan, whatever his name was, Joey, Jeffy, Timmy, I don't remember. But don't say I never did anything for you. Guys, this is an early Christmas present from us here at the Two Dum Yinzers, the Terrible Board. This is for you guys. This is what it sounds like when you talk as you complain and go on and on and on about these Steeler wins, baby. That's right. The Steelers are 9-6. Keep the crying. This ain't stopping, Mugs. We're getting ready. We're getting ready for the playoffs. That's right. We can wrap it up before we even play the next time. Baltimore, the Green Bay Packers, Saturday night. It could all be wrapped up, and it could be, again, bye week, basically, for the next 2 weeks for the Steelers. And until anything changes, that is officially the sounds of Shady Grady and Tater Tot and Timmy and Jimmy and Joey and Bobby and whoever else. We don't care, guys, right? Keep it coming. That's right. Cry harder, baby. That's what Tyrone is saying. Tell Mike I said go Penn State. You know what? Tyrone said he needed that. Ken's mom is hot. Shady Grady, of course, guys. Also, a couple more things. We still have to get into the trivia of the day. We didn't even do the trivia of the day, guys. Let me start getting in that. Let me start moving in that direction. Why don't we? First, I do want to say this, though. Do go check out our website if you get a chance over www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. Lots of cool things over there. Mike's dumb thoughts. Also, what else? Also, the links to all of our shows. There's information for our contact information. Also, a merchandise room is pretty nice. Guys, go check it out over at the www.the2dumyinzers.com. Let's get into some how well do you know your enemy? How well do you know your opponent? Portion of the show. Here we go, guys. And of course, this is Browns week. So this is going to be a Cleveland Browns question, unfortunately, as we do go. Here it is, guys. Question of the day. The Pittsburgh Steelers take on the Cleveland Browns this year, looking for their second win, looking to sweep the Browns on the season. The question of the day is this: when was the last time the Browns swept the Steelers in a season? Take a minute to think that over, guys. When was the last time the Browns swept the Steelers in a season? Think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. every day right here on the Tube. Question of the day, guys. We're looking to sweep the Cleveland Browns this weekend. When was the last time the Browns swept the Steelers? On the board, I'm seeing Tortilla saying 1953. Cody's saying 1733. Tyrone is saying, well, Big Ben owned them, so I'm going to say 1980. And today says Shakur looks good at times, but he's not beaten. What years do you think, guys? When was the last time the Browns actually beat the Steelers twice in a year? Was it this century? Was it the 1900s? Throw your answer up on the board, guys. Give another minute. Let me go through a couple of messages, and we will get the answer out here in just a second. Vegas says Vanilla Thunder is currently transitioning into his alter ego, a chocolate starfish. I love it. Miss Pittsburgh says, Merry Christmas, Steeler Nation. Absolutely. Merry Christmas to you as well. Go Pack Go. Great show. We appreciate that. Thank you, Miss Pittsburgh, as always. Jamal says, do we even pass the ball without DK for 2 weeks? It's going to be interesting because, again, he requires certain attention. And with that certain attention, that allows other things to happen. And so it's going to be interesting. Hopefully he gets this appeal to go for him in his favor. Tortilla says this. He says, we got mini DK. Mini, absolutely. Come on. He's a half a DK, this guy. Also, Tyrone says, we won plenty of games without DK doing anything. Well, that's true. But still, I think the presence alone, it allows other things to happen. But we'll see, guys. Also, Vegas says MVS should be fine playing in place of DK. It's not like DK is some amazing route runner or has the best hands. Vegas says, what year did we beat? Did they beat us 51-0? I pick that every year. Shabuzi Sanders asked. I don't know, but I know when they opened their new stadium back in '99, we beat them 40. 41-0. Cody, probably when the cavemen were hunting and gathering. Let's see. Tyrone will be fine. Packers finna mop the floor with the Ratbirds. Cody says 700 BC. He's going way back when. Bubby Brister, Bingo's saying. Phil says 1986. I think none. It never happened according to Miss Pittsburgh. And then Weapon says, so 1 or 2 weeks suspension for yes, that's where it's at. They gave him a 2-week suspension, Weapon, and he's supposed to appeal it today. That's what we're expecting, and we know. But we do know that it's going to cost him $555,556 if it doesn't. The appeal doesn't get applied. That's what it's going to cost him to miss 2 games, and also it's going to void some of his guarantee bonus money from his contract as well. So he's going to try to appeal it. That was supposed to happen just recently, so we're going to keep our ear open for that. We don't know it probably happened about 3 minutes after we get off the air. That's just generally how things go around here. But that is where it's at. Yes. Vegas says Chiefs are moving to Kansas all to get a new stadium. Oh, they're not going to be in Missouri anymore. That's going to be weird. Guys, question of the day. The Steelers going for the sweep, the clean sweep of the Browns this weekend. When was the last time the Browns swept the Steelers? Is the question of the day. Guys, any last guess? Any last, maybe just take a shot. Throw it up on the board. How many times? When was the last time the Browns swept the Steelers? All right, guys, here we go. Answer of the day for the question of the day. Last time the Browns swept the Steelers in a season, meaning beat them 2 times out of 2. 1988. 1988. I allowed a pause to laugh because I'm sure that everybody is just cracking up on. I mean, who's that bad? Who can't beat a team twice in a season for, what's that, 37, almost 40 years? Moses and the Israelites. I mean, that's as long as they traveled in the desert. The Browns have not been able to manage to get 2 wins in the same season against the Steelers, guys, since 1988. So there you go. There you go. That is the answer of the day for the question of the day. I think everybody had an idea that it wasn't in this century, but 1988. Cody was 7. No, you weren't. You weren't 7 in 1988, were you? No, you weren't 7. -7. There it is. I get it now. Bombs in the day. I hope his appeal is you know what? It should be. It should be. I hope so too. Tortilla says never. The Browns can't afford the broom. In Vegas says September 10th, 1989. All right, that sounds right. That was in that end of that Chuck Noll era. It wasn't good. It definitely wasn't good. I have no problem. It's ringing a bell now that you say it. Weapon says it's sad because, believe it or not, they have a great fan base. And you know what? I got to be honest with you. As idiotic as the Brown fans are, I felt bad for them in the 90s because I know how important their football team is. And when Art Modell, he did the move and got the team the hell out of there, I thought, wow, that's shitty because they are passionate and they were a big rival for the Steelers. And if that happened to us, we'd be devastated. So I certainly recognize the Dog Pound it's a great fan base, and sometimes you wish they were a little better just for the fans. But you know what? At the end of the day, screw them, right? Bush did Cleveland. A few things before we do get ready to wrap up. I do want to say one more time, I did unintentionally lead astray yesterday. Of course, the game is in Cleveland. I said multiple times on the show yesterday. There was a lot going on, a lot of information, a lot of stuff we were trying to get out. I was trying to keep up with there was fights going on the board and everything else. But this game is in Cleveland. I mentioned a couple of times that it was at Pittsburgh. It's not. It is 1:00 Sunday afternoon in Cleveland, Ohio. Make the trip up, guys. About an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, just depending on how fast you drive. From here, I do know that Tyrone is going up, and I do know that Tyrone is going to bring us victory. I do know this. Victories. I'm sorry. Vegas says they went 1-31. That's hard for dude. They went 1-31. They had a parade for 0-16. Is it safe to say that these guys are clowns, not Browns? I think so. Cody says the fan base is so good they wear brown paper bags on their head. I agree. Bingo says I was in third grade playing tackle football at recess in gravel. Bingo, we must be pretty close in age. You're probably looking at my beard going, "Oh my God, what?" But I was 10. I was 10 in '88. Let's see right here. Tortilla. I heard Browns fans like being hit. Also, Tyrone. Yes, sir. You know that. I know that, man. I know you were going to bring a win. And he says, "I'm going to bring a sign. Throw our logo on it. There's a couple bucks in it for you." No, I'm just playing. Thank you, my man. Great. You are the GOAT. You are the GOAT, Tyrone. Couple things before we do go, guys. If you get a chance, go check out any of our social media anywhere. We are all over the internet. You can check us out on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok. Stop by, hit the follow button, hit the like button. Keep up with what's up with the two Dum Yinzers on a day-to-day basis. Also, if you haven't yet, hit the like button down below, if you will. That sub, if you haven't subbed, share, and even comment. It all helps us out in the algorithm, and we certainly appreciate it. Thank you so much on that. What else am I missing? Oh, yeah. How can I forget? One of my favorite parts of Steelers Sunday, guys, is this. That's right. Duquesne Pilsner, guys. Also, stop and visit their social media. These guys are so generous making this Duquesne Pilsner beer right here in Pittsburgh. It's our favorite. We always have it in the studio. And just stop by, hit the like, show the guys some love. Show them that you're getting they're getting attention through the show. It'll certainly make us look better, and will help make them feel good. So, guys, go over, do like their stuff on their social media. They go out of their way to include us in their promotion, and we couldn't be more grateful to the guys over at Duquesne Pilsner, brewing this classic beer right here in Pittsburgh, guys. As it says on the can, grab a Duke. Grab a Duke. Weapon says, doesn't Gainwell remind you of Debo Samuels? Washington reminds me of Gronk. In a way, yeah, in a way. I was thinking of the Gronk Washington thing. I really was, just because he's so freakish. Gronk he was a freak, and that's kind of the way I look at Mount Washington. Tyrone says there will be no there's no correct. There'll be shows tomorrow and Friday. Christmas, we were going to take the day off. Vegas says they stopped letting us play tackle football in third grade. We were out there arguing who gets to be Jack Lambert as we laid kids out on recess. I like it. Weapon X is drunk. Also, Wheel of Steel says, cheers, Watt fans. Teflon Dawn sucks. Vegas, no show on Christmas. They need a break too. Yeah, I would do it. If the guys wanted to, I would do it. Let me just look here real quick, Cody. If I didn't catch it earlier, I do want to say I did catch your donation yesterday. Greatly appreciated, sir. As always, thank you. I didn't want to miss you. I caught it when I went back through last night. A lot was going on in the show yesterday. Again, the Steelers play at Cleveland Sunday afternoon at 1:00 in week 17. Guys, again, this could be a huge game. This could be a non-factor game. We will see after the Ravens and the Packers square off on Saturday night at 8:00. Steelers are 4.5-point favorites going to Cleveland, guys. Again, Monday Night Football last night, the 49ers, they beat the Indianapolis Colts 48-27 to wrap up the week. We'll be getting ready to kick things off on Christmas Day games. And again, we will be back tomorrow to get into that, more into the Steelers, figuring out what it is we have to do this weekend. Again, it's going to be a crazy weekend. There's a lot that could possibly happen and potentially happen, and certainly keep paying attention to what's going on with DK, guys. So much more. We'll be into all that and so much more tomorrow. It will be the Christmas version of the show, I guess you'd say, the episode. And if all the stars are lined up and all the bells are rung, maybe, just maybe, we might have a special reunited episode here tomorrow on the two Dum Yinzers. I think that it could happen. I listen. I'm not giving any spoilers away, but I'm just saying there could be some reunions and This could be the best Christmas ever. That's all I'm trying to say. It could be the best Christmas ever, guys, and I'm here for it, and I know that you guys will be here for it as well. Let me grab a couple more messages, guys, as we do get ready to wrap things up. No, sir. Bingo. Cody, JJ McCarthy out for the season. Another team looking for a quarterback. Cody the GOAT. Also, Tyrone says, damn, for real, Cody, Vegas. Some kids wanted to have fun while others wanted to win. Steeler Freak says 365. Justin Fields can fool them too. Tyrone, I mean, they out anyway. Only 2 games left. No big deal. Cody, still another shitty team looking for a quarterback. Yeah, they had the world by the balls last year. You had Sam Darnold with your young quarterback injured coming back. So quite a change from the 2 seasons. A couple quick side notes. Today, in 1.5 hours, Pittsburgh Penguins, they're back at it. 4 o'clock today. They travel to Toronto to take on the Maple Leafs. The Penguins coming in with a 15-11-9 record into that game. And finally, Ben Sauls. Ben Sauls, the former Pitt kicker, he makes his debut for the New York Giants this past weekend. Kicks 2 field goals and 1 extra point, going perfect 3 for 3 in his debut. Good on him. Good for Ben. Good luck, H2P. Mike in a Santa suit tomorrow. You know what? I don't know if there's enough grease to get him oiled up to get him into a Santa suit. But you know what? If we could do it, we'll do it. But again, I'm not giving any surprises away, guys. Got to tune in tomorrow to see. But it could be a special episode. Best DB in the league, Tyrone says. Cody, let me just take one more look. I'm going to make sure I ain't forget nothing for today. But I do want to also say thank you, guys. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. You know that. We wouldn't do this show without you guys. We couldn't do this show without you guys. Also, I want to say thank you, everybody on the board. You guys are awesome. As always, always keeping the show interesting. And you guys are the blood life. You really are the lifeblood of the show. Thank you. And then everybody at home, in the car, in the gym, wherever you may be, buds in, pods in, phones on, whatever the case may be. Thank you too. You are all appreciated. You're all a part. This is the this is the Steelers, baby. This is what we do. This is what we do. We ain't going nowhere. So again, we'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again, guys. I can't wait. The Avalanche, Vegas is saying the Avalanche is 26-2-7. That is amazing. I didn't know that. Tyrone, you the guy, my man. We will see you tomorrow. Again, everyone, thank you so much. It's Tuesday. Tomlin's press conference today. Injuries, everything. If Mike did have it across the bottom of the screen early in the show, if you do go back and watch the show, all that information that Mike Tomlin gave today on injuries and everything is out. Again, tomorrow, Christmas Eve, we will be here. So we'll meet everybody here tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again, and we get into it then. Vegas says, I just learned that too. It's crazy, man. But guys, thank you so much. Again, you guys were awesome today. I'm feeling really good about this team. I think everybody in this chat is feeling good about the Steeler team, and I think this thing is going to continue for us. Start Saturday night with this Ravens-Packers game. Beyond that, we will see. So again, tomorrow we'll all meet up right here. We'll have a great day, guys. Again, be safe. It's one of the days I feel like I'm forgetting something, but you know what? I have to continue on, right? I have to end the show at some point. So, guys, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Have a great Tuesday. We'll be back for Hump Day for one more before the holiday. We'll see you then. Guys, for myself, for Mike, Finch, Derpy, the 2 Dum Yinzers, have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.